Sleep and awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality. Sleep and awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality.
It's like this. You walk around with your eyes shut. Oblivious to the truth, you don't know what's up. It's like a dreamscape, but in the waking state you're all plugged in. There's no need to concentrate. Are you asleep? Or are you awake? This is the density where your body holds weight. The computer program, you've all got a break. This is important shit, man, your lives are at stake. I won't bow to reptilian minions. Masters of the matrix, controlling the billions. The clock's ticking, raising the stakes up. Waiting for the day that the human race wakes up. Well, I woke up, I opened my eyes. Now I see clearly through the deceit and lies. To my surprise, the world is an illusion. A closely knit web designed for confusion.
Awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality. Sleep and awake at the same time. Relieve yourself from your conscious mind. You're the only one who can set yourself free. Put it all together now or be lost in reality.
Run this, man. Ain't fucking about anymore, fam. It's fucking high time these pussies listen, man. Yo, hey yo, it's high time. Stop living life blind. The further you fall, yo, the higher I climb. If your feet stop fast, you're in the firing line. It's hard to stand up when you got no spine. Fucking slobs, your legs are like jelly. Your soul's been sucked up straight through the telly. Don't believe what you see on the screen, cause the world that we live in is not quite what it seems. Fucking parasites, that breach every one of our human rights. They think it's pocket change, playing games with people's lives. These are the people who are supposed to revive a nation built on jealousy, greed, anger and lies. Yo, the biggest influence of life has to be greed. Everybody
Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Go study history. Go study history. Politicians, professors and scientists, controlled by some rioters. Through 2 world wars they've been trying it. Corporate investment, no matter who the finalists. Don't believe me? Go study history. Check the activity of bloodline dynasty. Sumer, Egypt and Rome. Consistently pan-European imperial misery. World conflicts enact social change, so they want it, but we must abstain. Acquiesce and you're in for a world of pain. A workhouse where you dream of a minimum wage. That's the plan, but it's closer than you think. We'd be there now if it wasn't for the cosmic shift. They're panicking, the game is up. It's all illusion, the only truth is love. Don't believe me? Don't believe me? This goes deep cause they rewrote the history books. You can't quote how the real history looks. Empires fried from the lands they took. We're in the same boat, it's kept afloat by crooks. Been the same way for more than 1,000 years. There's no love here, all you're allowed is fear. Break through the clouds so the sky is clear. Satanic whispers hidden in the sounds of prayers. Dark suits, cold hearts, no empathy. Fill positions of power in our embassy. Stone circles and burning effigies. Chanting mantras to bring forth energies. Secret meetings that map out our destinies. Hooded figures manifest entities. Pollute our minds so we got no memory. For centuries helplessly trapped by the treachery. Don't believe and illuminated torches. Landmarks of malevolent forces. Sorcerers aim to contain your mind state. Open your eyes where you're already blind, mate. You want the truth, better ask and why. Your worldview got squeezed through a needle's eye, and here's the proof. They extinguish lives, conflicts built on evil lies, no surprise. We don't know of no agenda, disguised from the light from the moment you enter. Survival of flight, you're a lifelong member. That's right, since they sliced the placenta. Now, welcome to the slave race. Very few will ever find out how the game's played, unless you wake up, keep on playing it. They look at me and think, why is he saying it? Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Go study. Don't believe me? Go study history. Go study history.
Let's get Vinny back in the chat. Right, we've
to you, Nan.
got a lot to get through. We've been enjoying some epic Vinny Eastwood monologues so far. Next subject on the cards is we're going to go to World War 33, Vinny, and Iran.
Guys, just before we get onto it, don't forget, if you're watching on Patreon, there's a secret CubeTube link that you can press, and then you can talk to us in the chat.
Basically, you press the YouTube symbol on the screen, and then you'll be watching on the secret YouTube link, and we've got you in the chat. We've already been banned from streaming on Patreon, so we have to use a secret YouTube link that no one can see on Patreon. It's so backwards. Right, the word on the street is that Netanyahu, aka Satanyahu, is actually dead and has been taken out by Iran.
That's right, Lance.
And what's funny is that since there's like I don't know what day it is now, day 7, day 8, when he allegedly hasn't been seen, so it's being reported on the internet. In that time, there have been some videos that have come out that have been super questionable. Okay, and we're just going to play one of them here. I think this was released on day 5 of him not being seen. Basically, I'll just play this video, and everyone in the live chat, let me know if you can spot anything weird.
מה שאלת אותי?
חושב שלא אומרים ברשת שאתה בכלל מת?
אני מת על קפה, אתה יודע מה? אני מת על העם שלי. איך הם מתנהגים, פנטסטי. אתה רוצה לספור את מספר אצבעות?
אתה יכול להראות לנו?
פה. פה.
So it appears here that he's holding his hands out to show how many fingers he's got, because as anyone knows that dealt with AI, that unsophisticated AI has problems with fingers. And allegedly, one of the videos released, he had 6 fingers.
Allegedly.
But we don't know. It's hard to tell if this is an official video that's been released or an AI that someone's made to make it look fake.
ראית?
יפה מאוד.
לחיים.
אני חושב של המסר לאנשים שיוצאים ומתעברים.
I know one thing, his hand looks super weird.
It does look weird.
He looks like that looks
like a claw.
like Dr. Spock when he used to do that thing.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to separate the fingers like that. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, let's play the rest.
לצאת להתאוורר, אבל ליד מרחב מוגן. והעמידה שלכם היא מדהימה, נותנת כוח לי,
It's so
לממשלה,
throaty, isn't it?
לצה"ל, למוסד. אנחנו
Like
עושים
you've got to
דברים
have half a gallon of
אני לא
phlegm
יכול
in your
לשתף
throat just to fucking learn.
ברגע זה, אבל עושים דברים
pronounce it
מכים
properly.
באיראן חזק מאוד, גם
Vinny, your thoughts? Does this video seem off to you at all?
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? It sort of has a quality
He
about
looks
it.
weird as well. He looks different. He looks old.
I'm just thinking about the shallow depth of focus as well. He's on the bottom left-hand side. The counter, which is in the same focus field as him, is out of focus, but he's in focus, and he's completely in focus. And the sort of, where's that light coming from? There's the light on his side. It seems to travel down. Yeah, I'm not sure really if it's real or not, but that's the whole idea
I'm going to
behind
carry
AI.
on
is
playing. You can carry on talking over the top of it. It's got no volume.
yeah. It's
I think on the
it looks like
left,
it looks like a green screen. Like look at the blur along his shoulder and the back of his
Yes.
neck, and also there's a light sort of around the blur on his right shoulder.
look at
just
his
as
left
it's
hand that's holding the
coming in.
coffee. It looks like the cutout of where his knuckles should be compared to the plastic cups behind them. That looks strange to me.
And the coffee is extremely full and he hasn't spilt a drop, has he?
You notice how the guy that he just shook his hand was totally out of focus while he was
Yeah.
perfectly in focus.
Yeah.
It's definitely iffy, isn't it?
Go on, let's play the next.
Because this is the video that they've released to prove that he's still alive. This is what George Galloway
Least.
had to say.
Images and audio of Benjamin Netanyahu buying a cup of coffee in a Jerusalem cafe, although that cafe is in fact closed as a result of Iranian strikes. So it would have had to have been specially opened just for him. More importantly, he bought a frothy latte. It was pure frothy. According to Grok, it was 95% likely a fake, an AI or other fake image. According to other experts in the field, it's 97% fake. You could tell by one or two of the characteristics of the fake that it was just that. First of all, it was a distinctly thinner Benjamin Netanyahu than the last time he was pictured in public just 5 days ago. Now, he might be on the Ozempic, but it's working fast if he is. Secondly, he picked up the frothy latte, and it was frothing to the brim, and not a single drop of it spilled. Not a single drop of it appeared on his upper lip. He took a very big drink of it, and then the camera shot the cup again, and if he did take a drink of it, he didn't swallow because the cup was still filled to the brim. And then we learned that he did exactly the same trick in exactly the same cafe in 2024. And there are some images, whether correct or not, I can't vouch. There are some images that seem to show on the receipt, on the till, that this actually was in 2024. He showed his fingers, and there were only 5 of them, but we could tell he was lying because his lips were moving. But his lips and his ears didn't look like Benjamin Netanyahu's lips and ears. It's really all very perplexing.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. This is I'm just going to get some memes up now because obviously we've got to throw something into the mix here. This is photographic proof Benjamin Netanyahu is still alive. This is Rise Above Special. We had commissioned. Big shout to You've Been Nudged. This is smashing it on Twitter at the moment. This is an original meme, one of ours, one of the best. You've Been Nudged. Hit him up on Twitter. In fact, let me just change this so we can properly appreciate it because our little mini cameras are in the way here. Let me switch this round. I need to pay homage to these memesters. There we go. That's better. So yeah. How many fingers? How many toes? These are not ours. These are some ones that I found online, because there was one. Have you seen the video of him between the two Star of David pillars? And he's literally. It's so clearly he's holding up 6 fingers. I was watching the video, right, and I'm thinking, this is so obviously blatantly an AI fake. Did they actually release this, or is this anti-Netanyahu propaganda that someone has released to make deliberately fake? Nowadays, the lines are blurred so much that we don't really know. And then this one on the right here, the days of when AI used to do this are actually pretty much gone now. I remember when stuff like this used to happen when I was messing around with these image creators. It was quite funny. But yeah, the internet is ablaze with stuff like this at the moment. So
Epstein strikes back.
You've Been Nudged memes are absolutely epic. We obviously need to talk about Operation Epstein Fury and what's been going on, because there's one chap that's been talking about this a lot.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the Chinese professor, Vinny? Professor Zhang, who's suddenly become everywhere, doing these college-style lectures on what's going on in the world on YouTube.
Geopolitics and esotericness.
I've met a Chinese guy who was good at driving, but terrible at math. So
no, it's probably not the same guy, Vinny.
Some people are
I have been to Auckland, and driving around Auckland, there are many Chinese people that cannot drive in Auckland.
Yeah, with 888 license plates.
That's correct.
Which stands for Triad, Triad. And you see them around, and they're doing their business, taking over the country, using drug money to buy the homes and businesses, not changing the name of the businesses, and moving families in from China, threatening their families back in China if they don't do what they want and make their kids study hard and get government jobs.
Right. Well,
is that a thing in New Zealand?
That's a thing in the United States, UK, Canada. You know, at the time the Canadian government actually exposed this practice, they had Triad presence at 100% of their ports, and the Chinese owned 80% of downtown Vancouver. This is in the late 90s.
This is mental, because we never ever hear it in the UK media. That is one group of people that is never ever talked about. I mean ever. It's just never mentioned.
Well, the reason why it's probably never mentioned is probably for the same reason why the Royal Canadian Mounted Police investigation into the Chinese infiltration of Canada got shut down by the Prime Minister's office. Because by the time they realized anything was wrong and started investigating, the Chinese already controlled the Prime Minister's office.
Wow. Well,
smart move.
There you go. Okay, so, right, but back to the Epstein war in Iran. What is your take on this? Is it a legitimate conflict? Is it a cover for something else? What do you think is going on in the Middle East at the moment, Vinny?
Well, it was predicted back in the days of 9/11 with I forget what was the name of that think tank that dreamed up the Project for a New American
PNAC.
Century. It was, and they wanted to invade. What was it? 9 countries in 7 years or something. And the one country that was left on that list that has yet to be invaded and conquered is Iran until now. And just after, I believe, the initial invasion of Iraq following 9/11, George Bush appeared a day or two later with a huge banner on an aircraft carrier saying "Mission accomplished." And of course, the United States basically never left Iraq and had been carrying that on for a very long time. And so the people got tired of it. So they elected Obama, who was going to end these illegal, no end in sight wars. And then in his first year of office, dropped more bombs than George Bush did during his entire reign in office.
And brought in racism.
Well, I think racism was already there, but
Well,
yeah.
accelerated it. He talked a lot about racism.
Oh yeah, making it a race issue and
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, we're all humans. How about we just kind of like look at the commonalities between us? We all bleed red, don't we? None of us have green or blue blood, even though the elites may think so. It's just come on, guys.
So Vinny, do you think the Iran conflict is just part of the Greater Israel project?
I don't know exactly what the Greater Israel Project.
Well, it was
is.
seven countries in 5 years.
Oh, is that what it was called?
Yeah,
I think PNAC, Project for a New American Century, which Vinny's talking about, pretty much lines up with the same objectives as the Greater Israel Project. Yeah.
Yes, and as we saw with COVID, with Event 201, and various other crises throughout history, this stuff is planned, and what happens is you will try to get a plan in action, but if there's pushback to it, you take it underground for a little bit, and then you come back again, right? So they don't give up. They're very persistent, and they're willing to go quiet on various fronts for a significant period of time until they've got the positioned pieces.
So they've got the think tank's data back.
Yeah. Okay, well, we tried this and we did the best research available, but unfortunately it didn't work out as planned, so we need to go back to the drawing board and come up with all new ideas. How about we just do the same idea and just do it to a different country? That's brilliant, mate. Okay. That's why you've got the job. Do the same thing over and over again.
So what you're proposing here is this is the same as Iraq and Afghanistan. It's just the same thing repeating. The Americans are going to plan to go there, occupy, and build infrastructure and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, before Iraq, there's a Muslim conflict kind of thing going on here, and it's as ancient as the Crusades, really, where it's Christians from an Abrahamic religion against Islam from an Abrahamic religion, and against Israel, what's it called, Judaism, which is an Abrahamic religion, the religion of the sun, the religion of the moon, and the religion of the stars. Now, in the Talmud, which will put you in a foul mood, is the passage. The passage where it says that they want to boil Jesus in shit and semen, and the Christians support these people
until the end of time.
And in the other texts in Islam, it's perfectly okay to rape children, stone women to death, honor killings.
You're a fucking retard.
And things of this nature, which basically makes all the religions very much like a blood sacrifice ritual to dark gods that have an investment in negativity and fear and frequency vibration that they can feed off. And every now and again, they need to have a blood sacrifice ritual that is big and showy and happens during the period of March and April and May, so that it coincides with the annual blood sacrifice ritual.
Yes.
The season of sacrifice.
Absolutely.
It is a season of sacrifice.
'Tis the season to be jolly.
Oh, we will kill you and pop out your eyes. Yeah, it's going to be nice. This season of sacrifice. So I want
This is going to be a good one. Good season.
I want everybody in their best goat skin. We are going to have.
Polish your horns.
This will be a season to remember.
We will have a gay old time in the woods north of San Francisco. Now, the Iran war. Let's have a look at what's happened to oil prices. And I saw these things. I'm not sure to actually corroborate this. Did the price of a barrel of oil go down over this period, or did it go up?
Funnily enough, Vinny, it's gone up.
All right. Now, at the same time, it went up one day. Right, that's where you're buying the oil. So how long does it take a tanker to get here to New Zealand from the other side of the world, Strait of Hormuz or not? It takes like a month or two, right? Back in the day, it used to take like 3 months at sea for people to come here from England when they were migrating. So maybe a lot less than that now. But the petrol prices at the pump immediately go up, right? And people were actually selling out at the pump. And there's a thought out there. The justification is we're getting rid of this dangerous regime. Now, anybody who remembers back to the days of George W. Bush and war in Iraq 2, not George W. 2, not George H. Herbert Walker Bush, who did Desert Storm. No. We're talking about something that is long in the heels here. There's a historical context behind this conflict. First of all, let's say we just go back to the defense intelligence industry and how they were selling weapons to Iran. It was known as Iran-Contra, and some people may remember Oliver North taking a full brunt of this in the media some time ago. This led on to Desert Storm, because at the same time as supplying weapons to Iran, the United States was also supplying weapons to Saddam, including chemical and biological weapons. They knew exactly how much they were selling Saddam before they invaded him, because they looked at the receipt. Now, when they invaded, because they didn't want to be seen as doing business with the enemy under the Trading with the Enemy Act, they decided to detonate all of those weapons bunkers with all of those biological and chemical weapons, and then it rained down on all their troops and the people of Iraq, plus using depleted uranium munitions, so that now 1/4 of Iraqi children are born deformed. The most common question when a baby is born in Iraq is not, is it a boy or a girl? It is it normal? Now, if you fast forward from that, we then have 9/11 happen. And George W. Bush, the son of the previous grandfather who wound up getting into that, and he was, of course, the son of a person who was actually busted under the Trading with the Enemy Act for selling like 50% of Nazi Germany's explosives, 30% of their pig iron steel, and all their raw resources for the war effort against the United States and the Allies. You see, that where did these people come from? What is the context? And then we go into Iraq. Number 2, after 9/11, where they come out and repeatedly tell everybody, he's got them. He's got the weapons. Oh, yeah, we know where the weapons are. They're in the north and the south and the east and the west, you know. All right. And they didn't have nuclear weapons. They didn't find any. All right.
So then Hans Briggs can't find them.
Yeah. Don't you have any idea how fucking busy I am? You know, and it's just... This happens, and we come in now, we've got Iran, and now all through this entire period of history, and this is another one of those little patterns you emerge, every couple of years there's some kind of big blow up of quote-unquote Palestine in the Gaza Strip, and everybody gets in behind Israel and what have you. Then we have a war in the Middle East or something like that. It's just clock. And each time this is happening, new bases are being built. In Iraq, there were 50 permanent military bases established, and also in the nations around Iran there were military bases there as well. So the United States has Iran completely freaking surrounded on all sides with permanent military bases. All right, and they wanted to make sure that they could do this, is my guess. And so now what we've got is every war is a real war, okay, and every war is a banker war. All right. So it'll be, oh, no, it's against Islam. It's against a regime. Really, regime, that word that was repeated and puppeted and parroted to people when they were getting convinced about the need for the second Iraq invasion, right? Oh, it's a brutal regime, that Saddam Hussein. Yes, he was a bad dude. And the only reason why he had any power in that region is because the United States Central Intelligence Agency freaking supported him in his pledge, because had they got him to have a war with Iran for them, and they supplied weapons to both sides. This is all a money-making thing and a geopolitical roundabout. What they want to do is have control in the Middle East, and if prophecy is to be believed, and I wouldn't recommend people believe in prophecy, just believe that the people who are in charge of the world believe it, and they will act on it. They want to have some kind of biblical war started in the Middle East against the Jews and the Muslims so that we can kick off the Great War in order to bring the savior of mankind back. That's basically what some people want to believe, and that's what some people are actually trying to make happen and preparing themselves for.
Yes.
So there's a number of ins and outs to this, but at the end of the day, the only thing it's going to cost you to support the war effort is everything.
That's it.
Yes, don't support it. Let me just chuck a meme in here. This has actually been sent by one of our viewers called Josh, who is more of a left-leaning
Yes, he is.
viewer.
Yeah.
And they say the left can't meme, but I thought this was quite good. And this is obviously pertinent to what we're talking about here as well. It's one of those memes where I just let it speak for itself. Now, there is this is true. This is true. This describes the same people that are outside of the migrant hotel protests with the Star of David flag.
Yes. Retard.
Yes. Now, not everyone that's a nationalist or a patriot is a retard. We're not saying that, but it is certainly retarded to be saying I don't want any more refugees coming from the Middle East, while also supporting conflicts in the Middle East that are creating more refugees. You can't have
have your cake and eat it.
yeah,
too.
you can't have your cake and eat it. Does this archetype exist in New Zealand as well? People that are falling for this trap, Vinny?
Oh, yeah, and even people in the truth movement fall for this trap as well.
Absolutely.
Oh,
more
totally.
than ever.
Okay, so I remembered back in the day, I think this is maybe 2014, 2015. This is when the 9/11 truth movement was big, and when there really was a freedom movement that could be spoken of that was sort of together, and then Trump came along, Q came along, Flat Earth came along, Mandela Effect came along, and suddenly everybody's fighting and at each other's throats, and there's no real cohesive movement. But then COVID came along, and it sort of got everybody back together. But then all the rest of the other distractions that we've been having, Trump 2 and trans movement and so on and so forth, it's really just divided people again. And I think that this is one of the other patterns that is starting to come into recognition, is that when the people do really start coming together, soon they will be divided.
Yeah, that is so true. We found, I mean, our saying was that, well, we actually found that many people that we thought were cool in 2020, or people that were banding together under the banner of vaccine equals bad, because that was what everyone was, vaccine bad. Vaccine bad. You're my mate over here. Vaccine bad.
It didn't matter if you'd been researching for 20 years and knew about psyops and everything. People that had just discovered psyops and stuff, all they realised was, vaccine bad. Don't trust government. That was all they needed to know.
But
at that time,
a couple of years down the line, when the next psyop and the next psyop and the next psyop come along, they just got bamboozled.
Yeah.
And they started falling for it because all that they knew was vaccine bad.
That's it. Because they don't know anything about the occult.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's think about the history of vaccines. I remember there was a book published in 1850 or something like that, and it was saying vaccines 200 years of failed science. Like, that was the title of the book. And you look at this sort of scamology. Like, I've been against vaccines since 2008, when myself, Catherine Smith from the New Zealand Journal of Natural Medicine, and famed activist Penny Bright were outside Television New Zealand studios with big banners with vaccines and skulls and things like that, trying to warn people about the swine flu vaccine, how it had multiple strains of various other types of animal DNA in it that couldn't have worked well together, even though there was no contact with pigs. They called it swine flu. There's all this stuff. And one of the big stories from that time was about some ferrets, 500 test ferrets that got a shipment of vaccines. And they were tested on the ferrets, and all the ferrets in the testing died. Now, these vaccines had gone through allegedly 50 safety checks before they were even allowed to be tested on ferrets. And simultaneously, every single one of those 50 safety checks had failed before those vaccines were shipped to Europe to be given to the European population. And it was only because this one guy actually did the protocol and tested it on the ferrets that they realized that they had a bad batch of poison. and they were trying to get people to take them at that time. And people think that COVID came out of nowhere. It's like, no, bro.
No.
They've had some new virus with a new name every single year, right around flu season.
Yeah.
Go.
1, 2, 33, 6 million.
Word to your nan.
33 million people in Britain are mentally ill. No, they're not.
Shut up, Piers.
Rise Above TV, we're back. First of all, big shout to the Patreon gang who will definitely be getting this video first.
Thank you for your patience.
And I've just clocked the graphic still says Rise Above Live 175. That's a mistake. Big up Andy PG.
Lance hasn't even been in the studio for 2 weeks.
Yeah. It took us 45 minutes to flash up the computer. That's how rusty it is. So, first of all, big up Patreon gang. Sorry, we are back. We're recording multiple videos tonight. And big shout to the YouTube gang who will see this video in a mixed up broadcast
potentially
after it comes out on Patreon.
Potentially, if it's
suitable.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be.
I don't think it will be.
So this one's over to Andy PG. What was the subject for this video,
This
mate?
is, at the end of our last stream we did on Friday, I did my small sort of segment on Wee Wazzing and the attempt by certain communities to hijack European heritage, history, building projects, that kind of thing. And I just thought I'd just have a little bit of add-on to that. Also, at the same time,
it was actually a very popular rant. I looked in the comments.
Yeah, people liked it.
I liked Andy PG's We Was Kings rant.
And the other angle, there's been a lot of people online and some viewers of this show who still are fighting back and still in complete denial about the anti-white sentiment.
I would call it actual institutionalized
racism,
anti-white racism. Because here's the thing, I would argue that the institutionalized racism against brown and black people simply doesn't exist anymore. It's actually institutionalized benefits.
Yes.
There will obviously still be interpersonal racism existing.
Absolutely.
That's not going to go anywhere.
No, but what we're talking about is institutional.
Actually coming from the top down, media, education, academia.
Literally every institution, every aspect of every institution privileges what's referred to as minorities, when we are, as the white man, going to be a minority.
We actually already are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Well, globally we are. Globally we are. I think we're 9%. I think the white man's 9%. Yeah.
I'm sure that's gone lower since the last time we talked about it. Is it? I think it's getting that bad.
I have to check that, but I do believe it's 9%. So we've got. This isn't going to be a long video, guys, but this is a.
We're pumping a few out tonight, guys.
This was a screen recording that I actually did.
Well, we need to share the screen first of all. Hold on, let me get that in check.
This is a screen. I thought I'd screen record it.
No.
What's up?
Not more of this.
Yeah, it's one of these. It's a screen record. I did this. I'd screen recorded it because I wasn't sure by the time we did the show that it was it was going to be available still. So
it might be taken down for being too retarded.
Have a little listen here, see what we get.
Look, wait a minute, hold on. Do you see that? What is the first thing on the text there?
Yes. So I got this from
Tesla and the
Guy Anderson's page. I actually commented under it. I said, if you believe this, you're fucking
This was
retarded.
on Guy Anderson's page.
Guy Anderson's Tesla and the Cabbage Patch Kids page. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I was in the wrong mouse.
The original kings were buried in the mud and nuked from history so these psychopathic parasites could build their fake world. Those Queen's Guards parading are a global crime scene. That towering headdress isn't a military hat. They stole that style directly from the Moors of the Kazan Khanate in Great Tartary, an advanced Asiatic civilization. They tried to nuke from your memory. Those bearskin hats are nothing but a ritualistic imitation of the thick natural hair, those massive afros grown by the original Hibachi nobility, the true Obashis, who sat on the thrones of Europe while these people lived in caves. See, the ancestors of these people
Wait a minute, people lived in caves like a couple of 100 years ago in Europe. En masse today.
Not sure.
He's saying unless you were one of these people, you lived in a cave.
Yeah.
Wow.
Call Europeans today were the white Obashis, former slaves of the Hibachi, who couldn't grow that crown of power because their biosynthesis failed them.
Wait a minute. I'm seeing a problem with this narrative. there's a problem of this narrative that jumps out and smashes me in the face. The people that have been, I shouldn't say all of the group of black people, the type of black people that are still crying about the transatlantic slave trade and still going on about it, and now believing this, because those very sort of vocal people about that are more likely to be into this rather than just regular everyday black people who are getting on with their lives and not believing this type of lunacy.
So really, there'll be no reparations.
Because they were the slave masters and white people were the slaves.
We'll have reparations.
But haven't they been completely denying that white people have been slaves for the whole time?
Yes.
Like the Barbary slave trade, they always laugh at that.
It's all
retarded.
retarded. It's all retarded.
It's so inverted. It's mental.
They were pale melanin, mutants who had to glue animal fur and lamb's wool to their skulls just to mimic the lords they deposed.
Wait a minute. They call making a hat gluing dead animals to your head, your skull.
Yes, they're saying that this is the beef eaters from England.
Amazing.
That's our shit they're cosplaying. When Bob Marley sang about crazy bald heads, he was exposing the castrato class. He was talking about the Mameluke and Janissary slave soldiers who were ritually castrated, losing their testosterone and their hair, becoming the gilded eunuchs who build the penitentiaries and schools to lobotomize your mind. Today, these bloodlines, the Orsini, Medici, and Rothschilds, align with the satanic banking cartels that funded Epstein's List and...
Wow, so you see how it's gone from... This is what Archaics was saying in his video.
Just wait, yeah. We've
how they instantly jump from one narrative to one theme to a completely different one, like trying to link them together.
Look at this image, the way we've paused it. You've got Queen Elizabeth there, Elizabeth II, with a fucking giant blow-up gollywog in the background.
What?
Global human trafficking. It's all part of a gollywog ritual, a theater of mockery, where they dress in the habits of the people they slaughtered, being you, to ensure the original people stay mentally dead. They snatched your headdress from the Kazan to fake the natural glory of the ancient Moors and Hebrews. The high-status nobility of the millennial reign knew the truth.
So did you catch that then? He just said... I'll go back.
The high status nobility.
No, sorry, it was a tiny bit before that.
This is absolute retard gold.
They snatched your headdress
from the Kazan to fake the natural glory of the ancient Moors and Hebrews.
The ancient Moors and Hebrews. Now, who do we know that's claiming to be the original Hebrews? You've seen them in New York. Yeah. That's this shit.
Wow.
The same type of people.
Well, so basically now the original they call themselves the Hebrew Israelites.
That's it,
we meant to do an evening with them, but it's actually hard to get footage about them because they're so fucking retarded.
Jake
and
Shields
racist.
had one of them on, and then Gypsy Crusader actually got patched into the show, and it was so ridiculous.
Gypsy Crusader.
Even trying to talk sensibly with these people is there's.
But the thing is, now that they've got their hands on AI.
Yes.
The way they can amplify their bullshit is exponential.
Yeah. It's great. It's funny.
They've even got white people believing it.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
The high-status nobility of the millennial reign knew the truth. Growing your hair out was the divine covenant of a peak human being. Moorish empresses and royalty grew their natural hair, those massive, beautiful afros, as a sign of supreme status and genetic frequency. They've tried to erase every memory of these beautiful Moors through iconoclasm and whitewashed history because their own biosynthesis failed them. You wonder why the barber shop is...
Our own biosynthesis failed us?
Yes.
Are they basing this whole theory on the Beefeater hat?
Yeah, and they referred to us as mutants earlier in this video.
But what about like the Dagestani fucking cultural hat that's massive?
I would argue that
this is people that.
But they're not black, are they?
No,
they're going for the white man.
But this whole video seems to be based around.
Yeah, they're targeting Europeans.
That hat is basically a mock of an afro.
And look at the Saturday the more senior. People in Judaism, they wear a big fucking furry tall hat.
They do.
The same.
They do. How interesting.
And then you've got like Khabib, like you said, from the Dagestan mountains. They wear fluffy afro type deal. So, but they're not mentioning them. It's very selective. I've
got an afro. I'm white.
They're going for the European man.
The biggest institution in our community because the system socialized you to pay money to trash your own godhood. Hair is an extension of your central nervous system.
This is correct.
A literal antenna for your
that's
soul.
Correct.
And a divine covenant. The corporate system and the...
This is the way that retarded rabbit food works. It sews in some true esoteric and occult knowledge, feeds it into an AI like garbage machine with a load of just stupid prompts, and then you come out with this.
Prisons force you to shave to disconnect you from your awareness and your royalty. While you're in that chair throwing your power away, the Ashkenazi is in the Shiva growing his locks out, rocking the Horus lock, because he knows the blessing.
The Horus lock, Lance.
See that
The Horus lock.
There's actually some good gems of knowledge sewed in with this total bullshit.
The Ashkenazi is in the Shiva growing his locks out, rocking the Horus lock, because he knows the blessing you were tricked into hating. That Horus lock? That's ours. They repurpose your palaces after the historical resets. They wear your crowns and mimic your hair because they know that crown was the mark of a god-man on Earth.
Wow. And some people are lapping this stuff up, which is quite alarming. Hardly surprising, though. So that was your first video in this white privilege montage.
Yes.
Am I supposed to pick a random one?
No,
from
no,
these?
no, no. They're in order.
They are in order. Okay,
yeah,
we'll go on to video number 2. We'll see what fruits this bears. Rise Above TV white privilege special from.
So just before,
from
just
Andy PG.
don't play it right now.
Well, it's taken a second to load up actually. Okay, I will pause it. Right.
Just let me see if I can find it.
So she says that white Americans are the same as Nazi doctors.
Yes, yes.
This person's at least 50% white.
Yes, yes.
At least.
It's even funnier.
Maybe 75%.
I'm on the Tesla and the Cabbage Patch Kids page.
Right.
And I'm just trying to find, because it was a fair while ago, they post so much shit in this fucking group. I think I'm just going to waste my time and everyone's.
Shall I play this?
Find it. Yeah, go on, play it.
With white people.
A lot of it has to do with cognitive dissonance, which allows white people to feel okay about what happened. There was actually a lot of studies on Nazi doctors and how they were able to live with themselves. And it's not that much different than white Americans or white people around the world, right? It's this splitting of the self. And so you have this part of...
Sorry, what was it we did wrong?
The transatlantic slave trade.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
we're on that again.
You that knows that they did wrong.
But there's more of her that did this transatlantic slave trade than not.
Yes, yeah, but
this person's like very light-skinned mixed race.
But that would be a
that's the colonizer's mind,
yes,
obviously.
Shadow self, and that you have to split that, and you have the other self that's like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Racism? Why are you blaming me for what my ancestors did? It's not my fault.
Is racism inherent to whiteness?
I would say so. I would say that we need to abolish whiteness. It's always been rooted in othering the other people who don't fit into whiteness. But when we look at white culture, the only thing about white culture is buying things and stealing things.
There you go. So
wow. Okay. So I hate to be the cliche, but like imagine if you sat down there in an interview and said that the exact same thing about black culture
or any other culture,
it'd be very racist, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
White people, 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 white people. Hi, my name is Kylie and I'm a race trader. One of the craziest things about being a content creator that I absolutely did not expect was the amount of anti-Semitism that I would experience.
What a surprise. Every Steen Timesenberg. Wait a minute. Every wit's.
It's not every Stein, but it is every time.
Something like that. The thing is, though, for every one of these people that just like
Go on.
makes a whole, online persona about like being racist towards white people who on the face of them are white, they always turn out to be Jewish. They always turn out to be Ashkenazi.
There you go.
Kylie Brewer, Israel.
MAGA, raging leftist, feminism, LGBTQ, anti-racism. Here we go.
Anti-racism. But you just made a million videos about white people.
Oh, I missed the. They took the money. They took the 7,000.
Yeah, blatantly.
7,000. Oh,
What happened there?
I don't know.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
There we go. Right, yeah. This is. I've seen a few from this dude recently.
Oh, man, I've seen this guy. Fucking hell.
Yeah, check this out. This is.
This was our planet and that they took it over. And they lied and they said we were all one species. And I found out, no, the hell we're not one species. You are another species from a different planet, and that's why the sun kills you.
Sun doesn't
I'm
kill
from
me.
This planet, that's why the sun don't kill me. And they brainwashed us. They said all people burn in the sun. You are some motherfucking liars. All people do not burn in the sun. I never burned in the sun.
So now not only were they kings, not only did they invent everything, not only is our history fake and they created literally everything, but now they're the real Europeans and the real humans. So now not only is he saying that the country was stolen, he's saying this planet was stolen. He's here to teach the true history, the real history. And listen, I know a lot of people are laughing thinking this is funny, but he truly believes that he's an Anunnaki, a person of royal blood, and that white people are just aliens from a different planet who stole not only America, but the entire planet, I guess. And I want you to realize what this is. This is the ultimate brainwashing for a genocidal ideology. Because what did Benjamin Netanyahu call the people of Palestine? He called them Amalek. And in the Old Testament, God commanded that his people literally wipe out Amalek. Their men, their women, their children, their dogs, their buildings, everything. So if you don't see your opponents as human, Gaza happens. The Bolsheviks happen when they wipe out 65 million innocent white Christians. In this black, Hebrew, Anunnaki, whatever ideology, just another genocidal ideology, just like communism, that takes a group of people, like white people, and instead of putting them as the oppressor like communists do, he literally just says we're aliens, and that they were the true inventors, that they were the true kings, that they're the true humans, and we're just not even of this planet. This is a terrorist ideology, because if you're brainwashed into saying someone else is not human, it's easier for you to take their life. If they're just an alien from outer space, then who cares? They're not like you. If they're just Amalek, like Benjamin Netanyahu called them, or an alien who stole your planet, then by their logic, you're entitled revenge. So I see a lot of people laughing at this guy, but this is no laughing matter. This is terrorism. I'm sick and tired of this blatant terrorist ideology on social media, and I keep getting banned for spreading Christianity. It's bullshit.
So,
seeing a bit of two-tier,
yes,
two-tier treatment there.
Yes,
almost.
we are. So, Lance, I'm as you can see, I haven't been banned by Guy Anderson yet. I've been very careful with my comments and stuff.
Okay.
Because I wanted to keep an eye on him, see what's going on.
Right.
And I've got a little theory about this as well. So I'm on Tessa and the Cabbage Patch Kids. This is Guy Anderson's
his
group.
page,
It's
right?
actually his group. This is a group. It's not his page. This is a group with thousands of members. So that's the video that's been posted.
Yeah,
so the
it's
caption
on
of
his
it, the
group.
caption is, it says, "Just when you thought you had the Tartaria thing sorted in your mind, then you find out all of his story we thought we knew was complete bullshit." Lance, just read at random a few of these comments.
Jesus was a black man. Black DNA is far superior to white DNA. Even the bastard Queen L Lizard Breath bowed to the true Maud royalty. Them hats are from the French. Okay. If you believe this, you were clearly retarded. That's Andy PG's comment.
That's me. That was my comment.
Some people are calling it up. This is made up bullshit. AI. With the average IQ of 70, I smell shit. Man, what on earth is a gollywog? I used to play a song called Gollywog's Cakewalk. P.S. Please, can we turn off racism rhetoric? T.Y. So, a bit of a mixed bag there.
There's actually Oh, hang on. Yeah. Sorry, you were on the end near my comments. Look, there's loads of people just lapping this up.
Tatars plus Aryans, the ancient Asiatic ones, Tartarian. Oh my god. The combination of two major kingdoms. The Moors were aware that if we sent slaves to the Americas in the future, they could use them to rebel from within. Highly intelligent people. Oh my god.
Mate, this is crazy.
Whoa. Someone's saying I've purchased a book on this subject, The Black Pharaohs. Someone said actually the Orthodox Jews wear these hats. Fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's actually some anti-Kings comments on here as well, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of people.
There's
that
a
are
lot
just
of people lapping
this
up. But the point of this is that like Guy Anderson knows this is horse shit.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
must
letting
do.
this run riot in his group. And I'll
He
tell you
must do.
why. I'll tell you why. It's because the more people that lap up any bullshit, whether it's that
It's
or
just
whatever,
engagement.
He's ready to write a book about it. At
Yeah,
any
he's
moment.
making money off
He
it.
made a post earlier. I got on my notifications. He said, I'm the drop of my new book is out today.
It's
So,
like
so he's dropping books like one a year,
he's
one
probably
every other
using
year.
AI to write the books.
Yeah,
mate.
and but like Jason said, they're all just like copy and paste Facebook. See the 33 there.
I did see the 33,
Yeah.
3.3 likes.
So we've got we're drawing to the end of this retardation.
Okay, well we've done 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's all
we've
good.
got. I think there's yeah. So
Okay,
so
one more.
well, we've got a meme as well there. So
From Archaics and Archaics.
yeah. We're gonna finish that. So this gentleman I like. Okay, this gentleman I really like, and I respect.
Oh yeah, this guy
I
is like dropping
respect
bombs.
This dude.
My people who told me, not a white man.
I see.
It is my mom, my dad, my uncles, my community members, my teachers in Africa. We said the white man is so good, he's like God. He has done everything but put blood in a toy. That is what we say in Africa. Everybody knows what I'm saying. Do you know what they say in Ashanti land? The Ashantis have a saying, and I can speak Ashanti. If you are going to church and you meet a white guy, turn around and go home, you sing God.
So you're saying black folks created that name white supremacy?
That's correct. From Africa. From Africa. They can command water from far away through tubes into their bedrooms. We can even fetch a bucket of water from the next lake, you will be drowned. They can put electricity. We never had one in Africa. They have airplanes fly over us. It's amazing. Everything they've done is the reason my people say these people are superior, not because of slavery. They came to colonize us and they brought things we have never seen before. They gave a king a mirror and he was dancing and sold his people away. And then they go down and they go like this. If they're not superior, why do you see every picture when a white man arrives in Africa, we bow into them?
Wow, that's not a popular message, is it?
That is not a popular message.
That is not a popular message.
But
how's that going down?
yeah,
How's that going down on the Black
Should we have a
Podcast
look?
Network?
Do you have a quick look at the comment? I didn't actually think to do it.
Let's have-
Yeah, take
let's-
it away, lads. You have
Alright,
a
let me
little-
check some of these comments. So what is the page? Uncensored Society is the page. Let's have a look into this.
So that guy's name is Franco Zanu. I actually follow him on Instagram on his private page.
To be honest, let's just move on. Whites leave us, blacks heal. Okay. People forgot the good white people do and only judge us by our ancestors. But just imagine if we were the same today.
See, that's still some mind control bullshit.
Then they
right
would
there.
have the right to complain. Some people are liking it.
This makes me sick.
This makes me TS. This makes me sick. Some people can connect the dots and some others can't. Someone says, I'm African and I agree the white man is good by nature, with the exceptions, of course. They love animals and respect women much more than other country on earth.
It's clearly a bot, Lance.
Yeah, it must
it's clearly
be
a bot.
Yeah, so
It's a white
he's
privilege
not
bot.
actually getting shot down in the comments as much as I thought there. But yeah, that is obviously a very, very controversial
So
point of
we'll
view,
just-
especially from an not just a black man, an actual African.
We've got a meme here. We've got a chicken
Okay.
with an African hat.
Lol, not going to be funny when that vapor canopy returns.
So obviously that's Jason. But the meme is like, we was dinosaurs. We was dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, 'cause they're saying that. Yeah, they're saying that chickens. Dinosaurs have evolved from like birds.
From birds, yeah, we was dinosaurs, yo.
We was dinosaurs.
We was kings. We was engineers.
Let's just get rid of that.
We built the finest country you ever did see.
Wait a minute, what's this? Let me,
Oh yeah,
shall I
yeah.
finish with this
Lance
one?
had one more that he showed me before the show, and I was like, "No, chuck that in there." We'll see what this is. We should have. I should have put this like 3 in with the other white people that were.
Right. Okay.
Who says she does not allow her black kids to hang around white people.
Right now, where my kids ain't allowed to hang with white kids. Like you literally can't hang with these white kids. I promise you. And this is the thing. White men are dangerous. White people are dangerous. When you are the only black friend out of the friend group, you almost always are going to be the one. When the police come, you the one going to catch the charge.
Well, let's stop right there. Why would the police come? That's number one. Number two, what makes white people dangerous exactly? Back that up with some numbers. I can tell you what makes black people dangerous, particularly in the black ghetto environments. I can tell you what makes them dangerous because I have the numbers to prove that. What numbers do you have to prove for white people exactly? Now, that doesn't mean white people don't commit crime. I'm not insulting your intelligence. Of course they do. But man, what a number she's doing on her kids. She's literally conditioning.
It's almost like there's a massive movement of black people and obviously content creators being their voice that are waking up to the other people who are being the mouthpieces of mouthpieces of critical race theory.
This creature here with her claws.
She's pretty much white as well.
She's white. She's not black.
She's whiter than me.
Yeah, and she's talking like a black woman is. She's got the nails. She's. Do you know what I mean?
Look at how white her face is.
Yeah, she's a white.
And this dude's black.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you talking about?
Her kids to see themselves as less than white people. That's more damaging than anything white people could do to black people in the year of 2026.
You know, her talking point is stupid. Most black people that are killed at the hands of other black people. It's like 9 out of 10 times a black person's murdered, it's by another black person. And I was thinking about this today, and this is interesting because when you think about black Americans, I think it's fair to say we're the weak link of all the major races in the United States. We're the most obese race. We make the least amount of money. We have the least amount of wealth. We commit the most amount of crime. We have the highest rates of single motherhood. We're the only group of people who as a culture will get behind and defend the most degenerate people in our culture, in our race. We're also the only major race that's led by its women. Black Americans in this country do not have it figured it out, and we haven't figured it out. Again, I'm talking about as a whole. Obviously, you have black people that...
He's figured it out.
He's got it.
I think this is actually... People find this...
He's acting like a white man. Well, he is. He's talking. No, he's not talking
well,
ghetto.
No. He's just not acting ghetto. He's acting like everybody else in America, whether they're white, European, whether they're Eastern European, whether they're Latino and they're, just regular Americans. The thing is, people find this kind of content really triggering, but I actually find this super encouraging.
I do.
What this means is there's actually a revolution of black people, especially it seems to be starting in America, but it's
they're having none of it, Lance.
That are starting to sort of, this sounds well cringe, but actually break the chains of this fucking PSYOP programming. And we've said that each different group of people has their own particular shaped and tailor-made negative PSYOP, right? We've already talked about this.
Yeah.
But how encouraging is it that
they're breaking through it?
Yeah, because let's face it, if this guy was actually a statistically good... If most of the black community were like this guy, then all of their problems would be gone.
There would be no issue.
There wouldn't be any issue, would there? Yeah. This guy's
you
obviously
haven't done him any
favours
favours by pausing it on this.
No.
That are doing the right things. But what I find interesting is black people, who of all the major races are the race that has things the least figured out, is the only group of people who vote for Democrats at like an 85 to 15 clip. Everybody else is far more balanced. Oh, I didn't say we pay the least in when it comes to taxes, and we get the most out of all the other races. Again, in proportion to our population size. Oh, and black Americans as a whole were net recipients, meaning we receive more from the federal government than we pay in taxes. So it's very clear our decisions and our culture are not where it needs to be. We don't make the best decisions. Again, most obese commit the most crime, no wealth, low income, receive more benefits than we contribute in tax revenue. And at the same time, we vote for Democrats at like an 85 to 15 clip. I think this lends validity to the idea that supporting Democrats is not the ideal choice, because the people who consistently are making the wrong choices are overwhelmingly supporting Democrats. Also, don't forget I have a free email newsletter. I send that out every morning. The link is on my profile. So just click the link in my profile. You'll see this screen. Go to where it says newsletter under precinct right there. Drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go.
This is a black woman who says she does not allow her black
not a black
kids to hang around white.
Josh, really retarded though. The people, the black people who have the ghetto cultural demon psyop working on them, which we talked about before.
Yes.
They would look at this guy and like call him sellout, a coconut.
No. They call him a house slave or a self-hating black man.
An Uncle Tom,
a self-hating
or
black
like
man. Yeah.
But you know, he's just worked out that there is a negative psyop, and he's broken free of it. So
that was a very incredibly like 0.1% of my Instagram feed. Like basically,
is that what your Instagram feed is like?
Yeah,
actually, I'm not like mine is not much different. There is so much race baiting on there,
but
so much anti-white racism.
I'll drop this anecdote just before we sign off. Before we were just wrapping up a couple of joints in Lance's kitchen before we started recording, and I told Lance I've been working on this building site, just helping my mate out with a big job for we've got 8 weeks work there, and we're into our second week, and I was chatting to the brickies. There's about 10 of them, and they're old boys. They're like between like late 40s, most of them in their
old boys. I'm mid 40s.
No, for brickies, mate. You know, we lugging bricks around that age. They're old school builders, right? They're old school builders, and I didn't even have to say fucking anything. They volunteered all this information within 2 minutes of me being there. We were talking about the Jews. They were talking about the Jews. They were talking about the fact we live in a satanic paedophile cult. And I was saying, and they were talking. One of them, we were talking about the Jews want to abolish the white man, and I said to them, like,
tell them about Luxism.
I said to Lance, I was like, before, like, you would have to go and really look for this stuff. Pre-internet, you'd have to get some really fringe books, which would be very rare to talk about it, or go to a David Icke presentation or something like that. Yeah. And then the internet came out, and that you still had to look for this stuff. These are just regular people, like
regular guys,
absolutely completely regular people, and they're not occultists, they're not into stuff. And I said to them, I was like, how did you like get into this stuff? Because I've like looked into stuff since 9/11, and they said it's their Instagram. Their Instagram.
It's mental though, because
it's their Instagram.
Instagram.
The Instagram feed is radicalizing middle-aged white men to the fact that they are being demographically replaced, and there is a anti-white sentiment against. Instagram is directly giving them that idea.
The thing is, normally you
they look around and they can see it.
You'd have to do like at least 110k, maybe 3.3 times around the lap
to reach that level.
To reach that level, now someone can scroll down Instagram
and it just appear,
and it just appear in a 30-second video that summarizes it with the right imagery and the right working examples. Because now the difference is, let's be real, Andy PG. The difference now is we have working examples in our face, shoved in our face every single day.
Yes.
You don't have to go to a David Icke book. You haven't got to go to some obscure website anymore.
This is how, like, you don't even have to be interested in this stuff now to
show
know about it. It's like I'm sorry, but Jason Rashid's hit the nail on the head, like with the apocalypse, the unveiling.
Yep.
Since 2020, and this is the other thing. Like, Josh is right about this. But my problem with Josh's sentiment is that he thinks that it's purely the algorithm which is giving people this worldview, and it's not in reality. Because like, if you look around, like, it will confirm what the algorithm is showing you. If you go to the right places.
Well, look, I'm going to say straight off the bat that if you try to claim some of this stuff and put it in the algorithm for regular people, unless they hadn't already been given multiple information nuggets from their real life experience and from stuff that they're being shown in the mainstream media from real life alleged events,
dismiss it like that.
They would dismiss it instantly, like they did 5 or 10 years ago, because this stuff did start to be more popular after 2012. I've spoke about this before, that there was a big change, but you had to have had some real world events to actually put together to say
for you to notice.
The grand noticing can only happen when
there's stuff to notice.
When there's stuff to notice,
and then your algorithm is then like feeding your brain when you're not noticing, and then you're making a connection. Be like, hang on.
The difference is,
so
it's not being
algorithm
hidden, it's being shown.
Josh, I agree. If you're watching this video, I do agree with you that the algorithm is radicalising people. It is. 100%.
Mate, this video is going to be called White Privilege. He'll definitely watch it.
But it is happening in the real world, my man. Like, it is a fact.
It's like reality. What I was saying about Tommy Robinson, right? Sammy Best, a DJ, Sammy B, DJ, right? he's got Muslim family and stuff, so we always a bit back and forth about Islam. And he was saying about Tommy Robinson, saying he's brainwashing people with lies about Islam. And I was like, mate, with all due respect, I don't think you could be more wrong. The reason that Tommy Rabbistein is popular is not because he's saying any lies and brainwashing people. It's because he's saying what a lot of people are already thinking
and are
observing.
too scared to say.
Yeah. You know,
whether he's captured by Israel or not, that's a whole nother conversation.
Whether you think he's the biggest bell end in the world,
that's again a whole nother conversation.
It's kind of irrelevant at that point of the discussion. Yeah. Anyway, let's wrap this one up and get on to the next video.
Word to you, Nizzle.
Big up Patreon and big up all the people on YouTube that see it later. Subscribe to Patreon.
Also, one last note: deport Terror Slim.
Deport Terror Slim.
If Rupert Lowe sees this video, deport Terror Slim.
Yeah, you're totally right, enough. There's a tune called Poison Dart that I wrote in 2016, which was saying they patented the vaccine 6 months before the outbreaks rehearsed. And when people started listening to my tunes in 2020, because of what I was saying, they go, how did you know that in 2016? I was actually writing about the swine flu.
It's called a pattern.
I was actually writing about the swine flu vaccine because they caught them red-handed, that they patented the vaccine 6 months before the outbreak happened. So yeah, it's a pattern over and over again. I've got to rewind to what you were talking about a minute ago about the end times prophecy, because I've just seen one of the video clips we've got queued up. It's only 2 minutes long, and it's actually this Chinese professor we've been talking about, Professor Zhang, and he's talking about a group called Chabad Lubavitch. Listen to what he's got to say here.
Powerful people who are extremely religious, and they believe that they've uncovered God's plan, and they are patiently, methodically embedding themselves into power so that they can achieve their eschatology. And they feel as though this is the moment. This is the moment we've been waiting for 500 years. And another 5-10 years and we will have achieved our plan. And that's why we see so much anxiety in the world. That's why we see so much desperation in the world right now.
And so so if Kushner and Witkoff are negotiating with Russia and Ukraine and also with Iran and Israel in the Middle East, and they are part of this Chabad Lubavitch, which wants to bring about the end times, tell me the connection then between Russia and Ukraine and what's happening right now with the Israel, United States, and Iran.
Okay, so again, this is speculation. But one possible connection is this. The war in Ukraine was started in order to initiate World War III, in order to compel force an American response, right? Because if the war in Ukraine is successful, then Russia would control 1/3 of the world's carbohydrates and much of the world's energy resources. Another thing that's very important is that the war in Ukraine would severely damage the European economy. And you could argue from a conspiratorial perspective that was intentional. Why? Because in the Chabad Lubavitch eschatology, Europe is a great enemy. Why? Because if we go back 2,000 years, the Jews and the Romans were great adversaries. And so the Romans need to be destroyed. They need to be avenged because it was the Romans who destroyed the Second Temple. And who are the heirs and the ancestors? The descendants of the Romans?
The clip stops there. Apart from what he's saying, Vinny, is it not very interesting to hear someone like him on a mainstream show like that talking about that subject?
Yeah, there's going to be a quickening, but I've seen so many things like just start to get exposed, but nothing.
Well, I think, Vinny, since 2020, we have been in the apocalypse, in the unveiling. I mean, just look at all those fucking Epstein files. 3 million pages came out. Like, there's all sorts of nasty shit in there for people like my mum, if she just wants to go and have a look online to find them out. You've got people like Piers Morgan interviewing people like Professor Yang here, talking about Chabad Lubavitch, occult Jewish secret society, working with Freemasons, 3-letter agencies. I think we are in an unveiling phase.
maybe we've been in an unveiling phase like since forever. That more and more that more and more information keeps coming
Well,
out.
like you said, a
strangling.
quickening.
Yeah, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I mean, I remember 2 months ago when my friends were telling me, Vinny, this Epstein file is the thing. It's going to expose everything and the world's going to change. And I go, no, it's going to blow over in about a month or two. They'll do something.
Oh, for sure. Of course it will.
And then Iran comes along. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, whoa, look at that. Well, hey, what about the satanic pedophiles in charge of the world? Are we going to do something about that? Yeah, but bro, look at the explosions. So there's a difficulty maintaining attention on anything in particular enough to make a difference before the movements get infiltrated and the opposition starts to be led astray.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I do, however, like this professor. Let's have one more clip.
Because the Iranians are bombarding Tel Aviv and not Jerusalem, this is forcing the Ashkenazi Jews, the European Jews, the liberal, democratic, cosmopolitan Jews to leave for Europe, which now makes Jerusalem the center of gravity in the state of Israel. So these religious fanatics in Israel believe that this war is actually good because it will make Israel much more theocratic. It will abandon its facade of Western democracy and just embrace its theocracy. And these religious Jews believe that that is what God
wants, I guess. That's what he's about to say. This goes back to what you were saying.
Clearly racist.
About people, the self-fulfilling prophecy, about this end times prophecy, Vinny.
Well, let's say you had a playbook. Let's say it's not prophecy of stuff that is going to happen. What if it's stuff that you need to do in order to make it happen?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's look at the prophecy here. What have we got? Pestilence. Who we got in pestilence? Oh, we've got Jerry. Jerry's in pestilence. Jerry, come over here. What have you got in the way of pestilence, mate? How can you get diseases out there? Oh, well, we've got, I believe, several kinds of toxins that we can release into the food supply and the air supply and the water supply to make everybody sick. All right, we got pestilence covered. What about war? Who we got on war? Oh, there's Barry. Oh, Barry, what do you got for us? Oh, well, I think we can use our intelligence apparatus to make everybody think that everybody else is the enemy and control the information in such a way that nobody knows what is real, so we can invade anybody, anywhere, all the time, and constantly getting people to pay more taxes in order to pay for the war machine that is slowly enslaving them. All right, Barry, all right, we've got war covered. Now, you see, they've got guys who can do that. This is what Freemasonry is about. It's a recruiting center for the best and brightest and the elite peoples from the well-to-do families who have a lot to lose. They tap them on the shoulder. They say, hey, bro, do you want to spit on a cross? And they're like, no, I'm not going to spit on a cross. And they go, you made the right choice, brother. You are the best and example to us all. And they never get tapped on the shoulder again. And another guy gets tapped on the shoulder after he spit on the cross, and he goes, hey, bro, you want to sacrifice a goat? And he's like, sacrifice a goat? Nah, I'm not going to do that. That's horrific. And they go, we were just joking. You're the best brother of us all. Never gets tapped on the shoulder again. You see, you can't ascend through the levels unless you go through the initiation rites of the satanic cult, you see? And people will say, oh, but Freemasonry doesn't have any of those rituals. No. They don't. So anybody who goes in and reads all those rituals and things like that won't be on there. That's why they tap you on the shoulder. That's why they say you have to become a Shriner or a Rosicrucian or any number of a dozen other secret societies that do have these rituals. In such a way, you can filter out all the people who can't be trusted to keep their mouths shut about the things that they see. You think somebody would become a general in the US Army if it wasn't absolutely clear that this person would keep their mouth shut of all the things that they know? Right? They've got control, man. And the Freemasonry epidemic. I think there's like 5 million Freemasons worldwide. They're in Judaism, they're in Christianity, they're in Islam. Okay, so anything that we're dividing and conquering or getting people through here is going through this secret society network. And then, according to the American Broadcasting Corporation, and I believe it was in 1957, said that the foundation of the Illuminati is to find these well-bred individuals from powerful families and send them overseas for internationalist training. And when they are trained, they will return to their home countries in order to implement globalist policies. The Prime Minister of Jacinda Ardern, former Prime Minister, Dame Jacinda Ardern, because you can't get a knighthood in New Zealand without screwing the country over, mind you. She went to Waikato University on a Freemason scholarship to study PR and political science. She then allegedly went to the UK to work for the Better Business Bureau, which helped to cut red tape for big business and strangle small business with it. And then she came back here, became the darling of the Club de Madrid, which is a former prime minister's only globalist club. And she also became a member of Parliamentarians for Global Progress, which is a international globalist club that you can only get into if you pay $10,000 by credit card and are an elected member of representatives of a democratically elected country. So she belongs to these globalist groups, her mentors belong to these globalist groups, and then she starts implementing globalist policy. And if we have a look at, I would imagine, quite likely so, that anybody who does become a leader of any of our so-called democratic nations got there because of their connections with this internationalist underground group. Not the Freemasons per se, but there are many, many heads of this Hydra to slay. And the only way to slay the Hydra is to burn the whole body.
Do you think it's realistic to ever actually think that we could get rid of all of those secret societies, though? Because I agree with what you're saying, but in practice, they've been around for like thousands of years, and they've embedded themselves in the highest echelons of world power, like even beyond like royalty and stuff like that. Is it realistic to think that they could ever actually be removed?
Well, if you were to look at it in a practical sense, the CIA assassins that I interviewed said that when you've got high-value targets, you don't go for the high-value targets because they're too well protected. You go after their families. And another billionaire that I was informed of, his idea was basically sniper teams. You'd only take a couple of thousand sniper teams around the world. That's 4-man teams with one sniper, one spotter, one leader, and one driver, and pay off maybe $150K to the local cops in the area so that you can get out before the area gets closed down, right? It's actually very cheap and effective to get rid of these people, but it requires the use of defensive force in order to do it. You let these people stay in control, they will continue kidnapping your children and satanically, ritualistically abusing them and bringing dark gods and darkness itself into our plane of existence to rule for 1,000 years of darkness over every subsequent generation of mankind in a slave-like zombie state, right? That's the alternative to doing what is defined as defensive force. The difference between violence and defensive force is that violence violates something. They have violated us by stealing from us, by lying to us, by enslaving us, and we have a right to defend ourselves. All right, that's if you wanted to be like really brass tacks about it. But in order to get to that point where this solution is like solved tomorrow, you need, and this is my priority, raising of the level of consciousness in the public. If people are unprepared to deal with these issues, it's just like predictive programming in the movies. They had whole bunches of pandemic movies and things like that before COVID came out. We need to be creating our own brainwashing in order to shape public consciousness into that area where people understand objectively what right and wrong actually is, and what are the consequences for doing the right thing, and what do you owe someone who does the right thing versus what is the consequence for doing the wrong thing, and what price must they pay?
I agree, Vinny. I agree.
No, absolutely. I need to go back. We just got a couple more points to finish off on the Iran thing. On this show, recently, over the last couple of weeks, we've actually been covering these adverts that have been popping up for anti-drone technology to protect yourself from drone attacks. These adverts on like Instagram that have been popping up. And also adverts advertising backpack-mounted AI suicide drones.
Yep.
They were at trade shows, but they seemed like they were pretty much, available to buy.
Yeah.
So these adverts have been popping up on social media. We've been showing on the show saying, isn't it weird that these are suddenly appearing everywhere? Obviously, we know that drone warfare is going on in, say, like Ukraine and the Middle East. But now this week, there's these stories popping up of, could Iranian drones bomb Britain? Iranian attack. This is a meme on the left-hand side, by the way. Iranian attacks on U.S. soils likely with innovative drone attacks never seen before in the country, says New York Post. And You've Been Nudged came up with this. I just thought it was super interesting that after I keep seeing on social media adverts for anti-drone attack technology, and then, we're basically being scaremongered into thinking Iranian drones are going to come all the way to Britain and attack Britain. A likely story. This was an interesting.
If I may,
Go on.
it just seems like a really great justification for everybody to have that put into their public consciousness, so that they start getting used to their own quote unquote defensive drones going around.
Preemptive strikes, Vinny. Preemptive strikes.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. Yeah, preemptive strikes.
Yeah, I mean, back in the days, if you would translate the words preemptive strike, it comes across as
aggression.
Act of aggression. You know?
Yeah. Act of war.
This means attacking first, basically, doesn't it?
Yes. What did you have there, Lance? What was the next one?
So, according to this infographic here, I'll just make it the full screen so you can actually see the bottom right-hand corner. This is a drone, funnily enough, photo of the Embassy of Israel, which is in South Kensington, and it's allegedly right across the street from an apartment block where Khomeini, the Ayatollah who was taken out, actually owns an apartment.
Nice.
What are the chances of that?
Yeah.
And
at least 33-1.
And this was also sent to us by Josh. His brother is he says is a journalist out in the Middle East, and all of these attacks that happen in all the GCC countries like Oman and Dubai and stuff like that. They're saying that Iran is attacking them. Even the Professor Jan saying that. Apparently, the word on the street in the Middle East is that those like Iran is saying, why would we be attacking these countries? Like, that Israel is attacking them. It would make perfect sense. It's kind of the first thing that I thought. So it says here, Supreme Leader Khomeini says Iran hasn't targeted Turkey or Oman. In a statement, Iran's Supreme Leader says recent attacks targeting Turkey and Oman were in no way carried out by the armed forces of Iran. Of course, this could be a lie too. Or allied groups. He said they were false flag incidents done by Iran's enemy to sow discord among neighbours. I'm not going to lie, that was kind of the first thing I thought when they said that Iran was attacking all of its Muslim neighbours.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem to make any sense. What do you think, Vinny?
Yeah, it sounds about right, your assessment there.
Well, we were discussing on a Wednesday night show that we did on Patreon that we've been looking into crypto Jews recently, and it would appear that a lot of the Saudi royal family, they're actually crypto Jews.
They're this group of they were called in the 1900s the Donmer, which mean those who turn converts to Islam from Judaism, and it's all to do with the Sabbatean Frankists that were basically told to convert on death because they had this Shabbatai Zevi, this Messiah, and following that Jacob Frank, and they converted. Some became Catholics, some became Muslims, and that is the story of how the House of Saud were actually formed. And it sort of answers the question as to why in this Middle Eastern conflict, Saudi Arabia, this most powerful Muslim state, why isn't it got any beef with Israel when Israel is massacring Palestinians? That never made any sense to me.
And a lot of the other like the UAE and other GCC countries as well, it's the same thing. They're just letting Israel slaughter all the Palestinians. And we were saying the other day that the Ayatollah is actually what was very white. He was very white and light skinned, and we were theorizing that he might be the Iranians might be the true Aryans.
Well, it's a crazy situation because you've got people in Israel who are allegedly fake Khazarian Jews claiming to be Semites, attacking a country which is the home of ancient Aryans. That's what Iran is.
Yes.
Which is now being controlled by Arab Muslim extremists.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you look at it on the faces like that, it's a super fucked up situation. It's like who's who.
Yeah.
Do you get what? Does that make any sense, Vinny? To what I just said?
Well, it sounds like you're talking about the black nobility.
The black cube nobility. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, if you look at I don't know, from the micro to the macro, if you look at a country like New Zealand and you look at our judiciary. There's a reason why it's called a judiciary. Anyway, there's like, I don't know, 120 high court justices or something like that in the whole country. And like nearly 100 of them are related by first cousin at least, including 2 of the Supreme Court justices being a husband and wife, kind of thing. So it's a very incestuous little thing. And if you piss off the wrong person, suddenly they all know each other and they'll all come at you. So it makes no surprise to me if, for example, the leader of Iran was part of a secret society or a family, or the leader of Saudi Arabia or something like that, that all tied into this one global network that we call the black nobility.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, no, we're totally down with that. We're actually preparing a presentation that we're looking to potentially take on the road, called the Black Cube Organization, which really sort of goes into this idea that there is an overarching group that works through these 3 Abrahamic priest classes.
Astrological religions.
That, funnily enough, all 3 of them wear little hats, because obviously people use little hat as a term to a cover term for Jews, but the Pope wears a small hat.
Pope wears a tiny hat. So does the grey Pope. So does the white.
So do a lot of Islamic clerics as well.
Yep.
So I used to say Little Hat Mafia. I quite like that. But the Black Cube organisation is quite good. We're going to make a presentation on it, I think. Right, next slide. So one of these things with this Iran oil conflict is that the Iranians have basically said that anyone who kicks out the Israeli and US ambassador from their country will have access to the Strait of Hormuz. They've said that. They've made that statement. And Spain.
They've removed that.
Spain are the first to say, we want some of that Strait of Hormuz action. We want to get the oil flowing again. And they've apparently kicked out the ambassador to Israel. I don't know if they've kicked the US one out yet.
No.
But at least they're 50% of the way there.
I think Trump did say something along the lines of like, fuck Spain.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm sure. And on the lines of maybe a little bit of rebellion or kickback, there's 2 stories here. This guy Joe Kent is the director of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, and he said he can't, with good conscience, support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran poses no imminent threat to our nation. It's not clear why we started this war due to pressure from Israel. It's clear we did start from pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. It's been an honor serving under POTUS. He's resigned. He's basically saying there's no point in us doing this. We're being pressured by Israel and the American lobby. So I thought that was quite interesting. That is the director of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Joe Kent. Where's it gone? I'll skip forward. Here's another interesting one. There is only one developed country that is not heading into a demographic crisis and is above replacement birth rates. We're getting a bit spicier here. The same ethno-state lobbies other Western nations to open their borders to third world invasions. Can anybody guess what this country is?
Mm-hmm. Do they wear a tiny hat?
I've got a feeling this is Tiny Hat Mafia Central.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, we all know it is. And they seem to have a perfect male-female split as well. Maybe that's because they haven't been overrun by loads of young male migrants, which have fucked up that ratio.
Which brings us on.
Is this any surprise, Vinny, that this is the one country that isn't like with the falling birth rate?
It literally is the only country.
Well, in
the only developed country.
Developed country. Yeah, I should say.
Just thinking about the small developed countries that I know. Yeah, they're all heading downhill in that regard. So yeah, that is interesting.
It's a rule for thee and not for me.
Yeah, well, because they rule thee.
Absolutely.
But if you think about it, if it's true what they say about kosher food, because there's been a lot of posts recently about people doing the actual nutrient scores on kosher food compared
I
to
put a load in our
our
Patreon,
the non-kosher equivalent
comparison,
and like the kosher version is like 95% in the green, and the Goyslop version is like 35% and it's red because it's just full of shit and additives. Well, if you just eat kosher food for your whole life, you probably don't destroy your fertility.
Correct.
Yeah, which would probably help this graph.
They've got their own Coca-Cola. It's got a got a yellow cap.
Yeah.
Kosher Coca-Cola, which isn't full of AIDS.
It's not full of AIDS. Okay. Oh, this was a quote from the professor. If they do not destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and if they're able to achieve peace, then my prediction model and my analysis is wrong, and just ignore me for the rest of my life.
It won't be wrong, though, will it?
It's probably not going to be wrong.
It's not gonna be wrong.
His predictions are probably going to be right, unfortunately, because they're like Vinny said, they're clearly following a script. I'll let this one.
There's another there's a thing about raising children, resilient children, an audiobook that I listened to recently. Believe me, I'm going somewhere with this. When you say something's not going to happen, replace that with not yet, because then it opens the door for possibility. So if Mr. Jang, Dr. Jang, is it?
Professor Jang, he calls himself.
Professor Jang, the man. And if he's wrong, it doesn't mean he's wrong yet. Okay, these things are run over big timelines. I mean, if they want Agenda 21 full implementation, a global civilized society with I think maybe 15% of the population left, maybe 5%, and it'll be completely, entirely, and utterly enslaved in these tiny little megacities where all the rest of the world is left to nature and the elite who can go and hunt in it. And microchips for you that say don't do this, and microchips for them that say you can do whatever you want. Right? That's what they want by 2100. So don't be in a rush for the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. These people are professionals and they do things slowly, very slowly.
Yeah, just slowly enough for you not to kick back too much.
Mm-hmm.
We just before the Iran thing did kick off, it was noted that in Tehran, I believe it was in the capital, they burnt the Baal effigy which had a Star of David or Star of Moloch cross on its head, and that was just before the war started, and it was all over social media, and in the Times of Israel, like we showed, they actually properly kicked off about it. They said,
well, Satan Netanyahu actually said this is the most anti-Semitic thing you can do,
which we thought was hilarious, because obviously, you know, it's an old trope that they're Canaanites and Baal worshippers who sacrifice children, and when they made this effigy, they took it really offensively. Well, now after Iran did it, now Iraq and Mexico have also burnt an effigy of Baal.
Well, it says here Pakistan has joined Iraq, Iran, and Mexico.
Oh shit, Pakistan too.
In burning the child trafficking demon Baal with the Star of David on its forehead.
So these are global anti-Baal protests now. This is getting so biblical. That one's in Baghdad. This here, some Muslims and members of the Iranian community in Mexico protest against the United States and Israel by burning an effigy of the Baal or the bull.
Interesting.
I would have thought that like a couple of years ago, if you told me this was going to happen, there'll be like
no, I didn't have this in my
this wasn't on my conspiracy
board,
cards.
No.
What have you heard of this, Vinny?
Yeah.
Did you know it was in 4 other countries as well? Because I only found this out earlier today.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Yeah. So it looks like the world is uniting against Baal and burning effigies, which we find nonetheless quite interesting. Right, next subject. This is one of these contentious subjects that keeps coming up, and I'm frankly tired of talking about it. But the reason I'm going to talk about it again is because it keeps getting shoved in our face. It's the whole Islamification thing
of any Western white country.
I don't know if you know, Vinny, in the UK, they've just passed a new law which basically sort of makes it illegal to criticise Islam. I haven't read it enough.
Whether it's an individual Islamist or
just
anything to do with Islam or the Prophet or anything to
yeah, so
criticise.
we sort of, I think this happened about 2 weeks ago. We sort of have anti-blasphemy laws in the UK now.
That's the problem, because blasphemy is subjective, you know. What might be considered blasphemy might not be considered blasphemy for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and these ones are really loose. A lot of content creators have actually read them and said these are so loose that
The Jewish lawyers have worded the legislation so loosely and vaguely that it can just be tied to anything.
So you could basically just criticise someone
you
who
could
is
get
a Muslim.
You could get a kebab after a night out down the pub on the way home. Say, "Oh, I don't like the flavour of that." Bang, you're in jail. that's how it can happen. That is literally how it can happen.
Right. So, while we've had anti-blasphemy laws, these are just a selection of things that I've seen that have actually turned up on my Facebook feed. Right. Now, remember, in the UK, Muslims are only 6% of people. In the past,
currently,
I've been like a defender of Islam, saying Muslims getting a hard time. But now, the pandering to the 6% of people is getting so bad, and it's getting shoved down our throats so much.
Well, it creates things like this, Lance.
Right, so teachers have been told to consider alternative sanctions for students during the Islamic Holy Month. Labour's council urges teachers not to give after-school attention to Muslims during the month of Ramadan. All right, so you don't get after-school attention in Ramadan. British Muslims are more. This is claiming British Muslims are more loyal to the UK than general public. New poll reveals. Pure gaslighting. Absolute pure gaslighting.
This is race communism. This is race communism.
No,
if I may, the reason why they're so pro-democracy is because they have more children than you do. And eventually they'll be able to vote your representation from your religion and your beliefs out. And the pro-democratic version is them now outnumbering you.
Long before man roamed these lands, there was a war in heaven. The victors declared themselves gods, while the vanquished were renamed Titans, and forever imprisoned within the bowels of Mount Tartarus.
The truth is so incredible, we might just bust your head. Who is the architect? The truth is so incredible, we might just bust your head. Who is the architect? Who is the architect of all creation? You see, I can see the change in this vibration. Who are the architects? Who is the architect? architect? Who is the architect of all creation? Using light, conflict the change in inspiration. Bring you with the service, doing it purposely. Consciousness triumphs in the face of the earthly. Strong ties are tethered, weak links are severed. We strive towards the God that we endeavor. Believe, revealing hidden knowledge. Ancient clay tablets, clues to the creators of this world that we inhabit. Who are the architects? Who are the architects? Hello, Neo. Who are you? I am the architect. I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you.
Yes, which has already happened in some parts of the UK. In Birmingham, the entire council is all, I think it's like 80% Pakistani, but it's like all Muslim. And there was a meeting at
some
the council.
Bangladeshi in there as well, Lance.
Yeah, there were a little bit, but mostly Pakistani. And a meeting recently where all of the councillors were Muslim. They were celebrating, going, "We've done it, we've done it. Now we can move this to the rest of the West Midlands." So they're like openly saying, like, now we've taken over Birmingham, we control
colonisation.
All of the council. We can expand. And the thing is, it's like, it's now so blatant that the government is not just facilitating this, but telling anyone that's got any issue with it that they're a racist, Islamophobic bigot. It's just so preposterously in your face now. That
the gaslighting's off the scale here in the UK.
Gasmark 33. Let's have a little video to back this up. This is a council meeting where constituents get 30 minutes to speak a month to their councillors, and they've allowed this to happen in the middle of this 30 minutes.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
Now, I've got no problem with anyone practicing the religion or anything, but they're saying here, Bristol City Council are having a call to prayer sang out in Arabic at a full public council meeting. Councillor Abdul Malik reposted Hamas and is a halal butcher. Like, even the way they're writing this is just for pure peasant baiting.
It's clearly racist.
Is this appropriate? This is only 30 minutes a month that the public can speak, and this is being used for Islamic worship. Listen, I'm not surprised that people are getting really pissed off.
You fucking bigot, Lance.
And not, I'm just at this point.
You're a bigot, mate.
Am I?
How dare you say that?
Am I getting
You're straight to
radicalised?
jail?
But like
bigot, racist, Islamophobe.
I've always.
The problem is you're a fucking retard.
Thank you, Mark.
I've always tried to be very reasonable about this stuff, but now it's getting to the point which I feel like just absolutely just fuck off. This is just totally ridiculous.
The ideology is there, and it's in the hadiths, which is like 80% of Islamic law. You know, like imagine if the Bible only had like a couple of verses or something, and all the rest of it was kept secret from the rest of the people who are exposed to Christianity. That's what Islam does. By the sword or the womb, they will conquer you, right? So imagine for a moment your culture is about, hey, anybody do whatever you want, just as long as you don't hurt nobody and don't damage anybody's property. And then you go out and you accomplish X, Y, Z different tasks, and you improve society that way. But if your ideology is get into positions of power, take over and conquer everybody and convert them to your way of thinking and punish them if they don't convert.
Yeah, that's a problem, Vinny. That's a problem.
Is a society, the religion of peace, right? It is a religion of war. It is at war with the infidels, right? Period. That's all there is to it. You might say, oh, but I know a few Muslim people and they're really nice. Yes, they're nice now. But as soon as their leaders start to tell them what they can now do and what they don't have to restrain themselves from doing because they've got the power to do it, they will do it, because to not do it would make them an infidel, and they could be killed, right, for apostasy.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you know, I've made that argument in the past because I've got some friends that are Muslims that are, I mean, they say they're Muslims. They eat pork and do recreational drugs. They're not true Muslims. They're
not observant.
Just being friends with me would be haram to a proper Muslim. So they're not real Muslims, but they say they're observant. And I've made that argument in the past. But you can't get away from the fact we have Muslim influences in the UK, which are hardcore Islamists. One's called Mohammed Hijab, right? They've got millions of followers. They go down to the Speaker's Corner. They've got crowds of thousands of young Muslims around them, loving what they're saying, and they're justifying having sex with prepubescent girls in the street. They're justifying the 9-year-old Aisha.
Vinny,
openly.
we've got a fan of the show. One of our viewers who sent us a message from he's having some beef with one of our other viewers on social media, and it got a little bit out of hand. And this guy sent who was calling Rise Above racist, calling this guy racist. We're all racist. He sent this guy a message saying that he was going to get a gang of Muslims
black Muslims,
to rape him. This was a white English guy said he was going to get his gang of friends of black Muslims.
No, first of all, he was mad with us because he thinks that people that watch his show are sexist or racist or whatever. But his flex was, my black Muslim mates will come and rape you. And we're like, what kind of fucking nutcase?
What kind of a flex is that?
Would boast about having friends that are rapists, for starters. That's just absolutely bizarre.
So this is how dark this is getting.
Yeah,
Play the churches.
So you just said about the critical mass point about taking over, Vinny, right? Well, check this out.
Wow, this is absolutely breaking news. If the Green Party win, it is in their policies that they will abolish Britain being a Church of England country. Wow, this is really gathering steam, isn't it? What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. I know.
Now, if you don't know, Vinny, the Green Party in the UK are a new coalition of far left extreme retards.
They're race communists.
And Islamists. So you've got people that are trans with multicoloured hair in the same party as hardcore Islamists. And this is their policy, that if they get in power, this will no longer be a Church of England country. Isn't the clue in the name?
Yeah.
Church of England.
Yes.
Yeah. It'd be like fried chicken migrating out of Kentucky.
Well, these are full race communists. These Green Party. They're UK communists who are cozying up to the Islamist invaders.
what the communists figured out is they have a term called useful idiots,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
you get somebody who believes in the cause, really believes in the cause. Doesn't matter really. This kind of is a catch-all sort of thing. Regardless of what cause it is, you can brainwash people to support that cause, even if the eventual plan is to betray them and have them executed for the plan that they helped to bring into fruition. Right?
Which has happened time and time again in history.
Yeah, the heads of the Nazi party and people in critical positions were executed after the Reichstag fire, which was, Germany's 9/11 to justify their control ultimately over the German population. So if you have a look at what is happening nowadays, you would be confused. But if you have the context of history behind you, you know what they're doing.
Absolutely. We've seen it time and time again. I think it's just pattern recognition.
Yeah, nothing more, nothing less.
What else have we got here, Lance?
Oh, just on the same note, what's this? So sometimes I like to juxtaposition headlines next to each other that have come out in like the same day. So the most protected group in the UK at the moment, who's been pandered to really heavily, represented by this woman, Nadia Hussein, thinks she's suffered from BBC discrimination. She should try being a white man, says the reporter. And then on the same day, you've got this guy on GB News getting condemned for saying that genocide against white people is on the rise in the UK. Thomas Corbett Dillon, who claims to have advised Boris Johnson, says immigrants could turn on white people. This kind of rhetoric was like not mainstream Telegraph and stuff not very long ago. It's really starting to ramp up now. Is this kind of stuff is this kind of stuff on the table in New Zealand as well, Vinny, or is this a UK thing?
Yeah, well, for example, we just had a anti-immigration protest that was supposed to go over the Auckland Harbour Bridge, which protests often go over throughout New Zealand history. And it was, for the first time, I think I've seen a major protest not being allowed to go over that bridge. And this decision was made by the Commissioner of Police and the Chief of Police at the same time, both of them being Muslims.
Excellent. Excellent.
Now, I don't want to point any fingers or make any connections that aren't there, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I think that archetype might be applicable to a lot of what happened in the north of England with those grooming gangs as well, because a lot of the police were also from the same community as the offenders,
and the councillors,
and the councillors, yeah,
might have the social services,
might have something to do with why it was covered up. Not that people didn't want to be called racist.
But I mean, we're
just nepotism.
I found this video earlier, Vinny. We're going to play this now. This is the type of demographic that are being imported.
Well, let me just preface this, right? Do you remember, Vinny, when we had like the Me Too movement and there was a lot of talk about rape culture? And it was a buzzword, rape culture, this. And you know, these certain talking heads on TV were actually trying to convince us that there is a rape culture in the West where rape is clearly illegal, and you know, the vast majority of men have no want to rape anyone and know that it's very, very bad. But these people are trying to make out there's actual culture of it. Who's put this? Did you put this video?
Yeah, I found it. I found it yesterday.
We found this video, and this is really quite shocking, because obviously now with all the migrant 19 crisis and the huge increase in sexual violence, we have this argument about is this demographic being imported possibly a little bit more rapey than your average native?
Yes.
Well, let's check this video out.
This is happening in Delta State, South Nigeria. If them see any girl, then go rape her. And that's what they're doing. Groups, hundreds of men are running around.
Zorro Raping Feast thought
They
down
call it
all
a
females
raping
are to stay
festival.
indoors.
Running around molesting and raping girls if they're seen outside. This happened in South Nigeria. You can make any argument you want. Why should we accept people from cultures and places that behave like this? Just what he says.
If you see one woman like that,
He says they run.
they really close come out like so many things.
He says they run for their life. I can't show everything because it's Instagram. There are a lot of videos out here that are quite graphic. If I show them, I'll get banned. But listen to what this one lady says. This lady is crying for help as a group of men gather to rape her as part of a Rape Day festival in Ozoro, Delta State, Nigeria. The life of a Nigerian woman where men are allowed to rape you in the name of culture and tradition. And it's not one man, or it's not two men, three men. It is communities of men running around raping and molesting girls that are alone. Why should anyone in Europe be expected to take in people like this? Why are we opening our doors to cultures so different from our own? The world isn't rainbows and sunshine. I don't want to hand a life to my daughter or my grandchildren one day that resembles more of this than it does what I got to grow up with. No colonization is making them run around rape women. That is their own people doing it to...
No, this is obviously quite ugly that videos like this even exist, and this is even an issue.
I've never heard of a rape festival.
I have
a
never...
legal government like.
Well, I don't know if it's government sanctioned.
No,
but no one's stopping.
No,
them.
no one's stopping it. I've never heard of a rape festival.
Yep. You learn something new every day on Rise Above Live, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you're welcome.
Listen, we're not trying to suggest that everyone from Nigeria goes to a rape festival. Maybe it's part of the Delta region where that part of I've got no idea. That's the first time I've heard of it. But listen, that is clearly a thing, and it is clearly an issue that at least is a question that needs to be discussed. That if there is this uncontrolled migrant 19 boatman crisis that seems to be never ending, that's happening,
the radical mariners,
the Soros caliphate or whatever, that's happening to all Western countries, and the door is open to that. Is it really any wonder that we're seeing an increase in like the statistics about sexual violence towards women? Is it any wonder?
Have we completely undermined our own cultures to the point where we don't value our own culture, right? So we don't really have community anymore. Like, are you surrounded by your neighbors that you talk to and hang out with basically every day? Not really in the main, are we? All right. Our communities
not really.
Yeah, our community has just been completely torn apart, and
whereas their communities are so close knit, they're actually going around raping people together as a pastime. They're that tight knit that they're raping people together.
Oh, no,
as a community pastime.
They are so tight knit that in England they actually had houses with chalkboards outside with the names of the Muslim men who would use that house to rape English girls.
It was like an honesty bar, no? They had to tick it off. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the week, however many times you used it to rape English girls, that's how much you had to pay in the rent of that house.
That's right.
All right, these people are organized, and again, let's just focus on the worst ones, because there are moderates, there are people that in the culture, just like in Freemasonry, for example, you have no idea what the organization of Freemasonry is really about until you've been tapped on the shoulder and brought to those higher levels. The people of those higher levels, however, are the measure by which you look and assess the entire organization as a whole. So it doesn't matter if you're a moderate person who's never raped anybody, you're still part of that club that somewhere up the chain, unbeknownst to you and uncontested by you, do these crimes against other human beings.
Sure. I mean, when the whole of the West is being flooded with these cultures and demographic, and everyone can clearly see the demographic change, Vinny, I just want to ask you what I mean, we're seeing, especially in the US and here in Europe, basically, the rise in people openly, describing themselves as having Nazi ideology, and there's plenty of there's like people like Thomas Sowell in Australia. Are you aware of him and all the No, he's a. I mean,
he's even got a Hitler tash. That's
Yeah,
the guy I'm
he's
thinking of,
a
isn't it?
skinhead, wears bomber jackets, and but he's organising. He's actually got quite a big following, and people are now. It's seemingly cool to be a Nazi at the moment.
It's massively cool on Instagram. We've seen hundreds of pages making these new like super fast-paced memes with dance music, with all Nazi imagery, and there's thousands and thousands of comments. Yeah, it's actually a huge thing. I was wondering if you've witnessed that in New Zealand as well.
Not personally, but the reason why Nazism actually came to a rise in the front was because the Treaty of Versailles post World War I put all these war debts onto Germany, and Germany had to keep paying off these debts, and people were going hungry. Their currency was devalued, and the Nazi Reich rose because they united people with a vision for what Germany could be, and they had an enemy identified that they could unite people against. It wasn't the Jews, it was the communists. The Nazis rose to fight the communists. So at the moment, you're saying that Nazi seems to be rising. Well, have a look at the communist entity, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
And
sure.
So the New World Order finances and controls both of these sides. However, there is an ideological split between them. One is far right authoritarianism, and the other is far left authoritarianism. But it's still authoritarian, right? Because there are two factions of the New World Order and their ideology. They agree. Absolutely. And we'll work together that they want authoritarianism. So anybody who is anti-authoritarian, they don't really get in their ranks. But they don't necessarily 100% agree whether or not communism or fascism is going to be the way to save everybody and rule over us in a dark god future. Right? So they will have these things opposing each other, just like when Mark Passio became a Satanist because he realized religion was BS. He realized Satanism was evil too. And so they try to capture you with right and left ideology instead of capturing people with right and wrong moral behavior.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. You kind of answered the next question I was going to ask was do you think that if you have observed it, do you think the rise in Nazism would be a natural response to the rise of Bolshevism, which we're seeing everywhere? But you already said that.
Because I mean, what's going on here, Vinny, in the UK is literally to the letter straight out of the Bolshevik playbook, and I'm sure it's the same. We saw some horrific things in New Zealand and Australia on your side of the world during Kosher 19 with the authoritarian Bolshevism, and it's certainly on the rise here. What else have you got here, Lance?
Well, this is one that you put in, which was a little bit funny. Sorry, I'm wrestling with my cat Hermes here. He's trying to get control of the mouse.
Oh yeah, this is one that my wife Becky has found.
King Charles serves jollof at a tea party and says Nigeria does it best. The royal family might have stepped into one of the biggest debates in African culture. Charles III hosted a state banquet at Windsor Castle for Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We've just seen what's going on in Nigeria.
Yeah, all right, the raping
rape festival.
So while the raping festival is on, the president has made it over to have a state banquet. And during his speech, the king referred to a recent jollof and tea event that he hosted where he was told the jollof rice being served was the best and that it was Nigerian. That sounded like a light comment, but it's now sparked reactions. Anyone knows the culture. This is not just food. It's a long-running rivalry. And it's to do with Ghanaian and Nigerian rivalry over jollof rice. This is, like, with everything going on, like, what
this is just peasant bait.
What the fuck is he doing? Like,
yeah.
What is this really about? Like, because did he not realise like how much like they are serious about jollof rice?
Yeah.
Right, there are black people from Africa in my extended family.
They'll kill you, mate.
And when we go to a barbecue, I saw it straight away. I was like, let me try that rice. Let me taste it. I was like, this is the black people rice. This is absolutely banging. And my mum and my mum especially is a very proud cook. So let me taste that. She's like, what's in this? Who made this? And I was like, guess who made it? This is jollof rice. It is the most tastiest rice ever. Have you had it?
No, I don't think I have.
It's like it's just got so much seasoning and spice in it. But yeah, they basically have wars over this jollof rice about who does it best. And now King Sausage Fingers has weighed in to the melee.
King Sausage Fingers, I read as well, was just hosted a meat-free steak banquet for the same Nigerian people.
Oh,
because they're vegetarian. Because they normally do a steak banquet at, at Buckingham Palace or whatever, but he's hosted, obviously, vegetarian, so they've done a meat-free steak, so a digital steak.
Oh, a 3D printed steak.
3D printed steak from Israel.
I thought that stuff was finished. All the companies had collapsed by now.
No, they'll push it on.
Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it.
Your digital steak. Oh yeah, show Vinny a bit of Sharia law there. The horseman. The Manchester Horsemen we had here.
We covered this last week. These horsemen were riding through Manchester with
armbands that said Sharia
law.
They
actually did have an armband that said Sharia on it, right?
Yeah, Sharia law enforcement.
And the police were doing nothing about it. And we were saying, like, who the fuck paid for this? Those are no normal horses to ride them through a city centre, a built-up city centre. Those need to be trained horses. They need to be trained riders. Like, is this a government psyop? Is an actual Islamist group paying for this? So we were asking the questions. Well, the Daily Mail has come out and they've called them the Horsemen of the Ayatollah. Revealed the Horsemen of the Ayatollah who rode through Manchester. 35-year-old engineering lecturer who did not support the Ayatollah, but he was acting as a peacemaker on the night because there was a protest or a vigil for the Ayatollah Khomeini who'd just been died. Both his horses, Khyber and Lionheart, they stay at stables 20 miles outside the city centre. Describing himself as a British-born Pakistani Muslim, he was only aware of the vigil was taking place because some of his friends were attending. This sounds like a main bullshit story.
Yeah.
Did you see this clip? Did it make it over to NZ? This is quite a thing here. Sharia law horseback. The thing is, like,
this is so fucking clown world.
It really is, because if this story is true and these guys were there just to be peacekeepers for the Ayatollah,
I think that's bollocks, mate.
Why have they got Sharia law written on a band?
I think the UK government, along with the monarchy, they want a race war here in the UK and any other Western country. They really are trying to get a race war going, or some kind of religious war here.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a matter of there's two things at play here. One is coverage and the other is concision. All right, concision means to make something very, very short so somebody can understand. They can just show a picture, have a headline, somebody can understand it. But if it's a much more complex issue, you're going to have a great difficulty with the amount of coverage of getting things out there. And the second question of the coverage is, what are you actually covering? What are you putting out there, and for what reason are you doing? For the example about gun ownership in the United States, there was a story about somebody who walked into a convenience store and held the place up with a gun, and then somebody else, another customer with a gun, put the gun on the robber and held them until police arrived. It was covered on one local network. Then north in a gun ban zone, somebody walked into a Wendy's and opened fire on the place and shot 3 people, killed one of them, and it was covered on 70 network news pieces. You see, if people want a particular narrative to be put across, those are the elements that you really have to be looking into to see how much coverage it has and what the agenda might therefore be.
Well, this went everywhere. These Sharia law enforcement on horseback riding through one of the biggest cities in the UK, that got a lot of coverage.
I can just imagine a little group of people sitting around, how can we really stoke the public's fear and hatred today? Yeah, man, fear and hatred gets a lot of hits, man. Why don't we just play people off against each other and just look at any one isolated incident out in the middle of nowhere or something like that by a couple of crazies doing something, and then not say that it's everybody doing this and this is what the future is going to be, but imply that, so that we get a much more massive aggro reaction fueled in the public consciousness to create chaos, to distract people from the ruthless, criminal, sociopathic, scumbaggery, child sacrificing, ritualistic Satanists that really run everything, including all the
I have toyed with the idea, Vinny, that especially since the rise of the internet is now so big. Pretty much since 2010, like everything's out openly in the internet, and I do kind of think they've deliberately made the West so fucked, so unbearable for everyone that they'll actually be pining for the good old-fashioned fiat banking satanic system run by undercover paedophiles and who aren't so out in the open like it was back in the 80s and 90s. They
good
made
old days.
like the good old days of that kind of slavery was still better than what we're being dished out
infinitely better, just much better.
Well, there's culture and then there's technology, and the technology seems to change the culture because it can directly access our reward systems like dopamine in order to influence us on a chemical level to change what we want to do with our time. Pubs, for example, like 30% of pubs have closed and are not reopening because people don't go out anymore. You know, they want to go out and have sex with somebody or find a new partner or whatever. You used to have to go out to do that. Now you've got dating apps and you don't even have to leave your lounger.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is a great segue to the next story here, which this jumps out at me from nowhere. Just in, Meta announces they'll be shutting down the metaverse after pouring in 80
trillion, lads.
Is that 80 trillion?
Is it trillion?
No, that's 80 billion.
Yeah, it's
That's
billion.
80
Yeah,
billion.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
80 billion into the project. So how long did that last? How long? When was this launched?
About COVID Union.
Was it
time,
pre-COVID or post-COVID?
I think it was post. Maybe like 2021.
So it's been around for.
I'll Michael it now.
Yeah. Find out. So if it's only been around for 4 years, they pumped in $80 billion. When was the metaverse launched? Yeah, there you go. Let's have a look. What's it saying?
October 21.
Yeah, there you go. So it's like coming up 5 years, $80 billion down. What a failure.
And they were working on it since 1992.
That is incredible. But I must say, I mean, as soon as it launched, when I looked at it, it looked preposterously shit.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
It looked like it's such a joke.
Looked wanky.
Compared to even such a basic mobile phone game, not like a PlayStation game or anything. How can you create something that's supposed to be the new best thing that's gonna end everything, and it be shit?
Yeah, it's retarded.
Like people don't realize how expensive like video games are to make. You know, I remember I was kind of like, how much did Cyberpunk 2077 cost to make? And it was like freaking $400 million.
Yeah. But do you know what the crazy thing is now, Vinny? Now, in the last couple of months, there's some of the games that have come out that are indie games that are like AAA, and with the AI that's now incorporated into the new engines, they've been built by one person, and they look as good as the games from 2 years ago,
which
that were
would
built
take
by
a full team,
a team of hundreds of people, and
working
$400
around the
million.
clock,
Yeah,
internationally.
And something got released the other day, which has caused a big stir in the games industry. There's this new AI machine that can be applied to any game, old or new, and it will take every texture in the game, whether it's a tree, a carpet, the sky, or especially skin, and apply this super badass AI to it, and it will take it looking like this to looking like a photo to having procedurally generated micropores. Micropores, yeah.
Wow.
So but a lot of people in the gaming industry are kicking off saying, well, what about the artist that originally created the game? You're just going to put an AI screen over all of it. And so you've just wiped out what they've created.
It's a simulacra.
Yeah.
It's a simulacra.
Born into a life of suffering. A tortured soul, accustomed to horrific pain and from the age of a mere infant. His mind fermented with perverted pleasures. Sick and twisted desires. There was only one place that could satisfy his insatiable lust for inflicting agony. Only one profession that could truly cater to his torturous tendencies. So, he sought the dungeon, and he became the Dungeon Master.
Ominous growls from shadowy corners. Acrid breath on my neck feels warm. Trapped with the monster deep in the dungeon. But the monster, at one with his darkness, my true form. I'm hearing deafening screams from the echo chamber. Deafening screams, these cries of anguish narrate the night. Devilish themes, no movie trailer. Darkened hearts fade far from the light. Growling demons haunts me relentless. Calling Christ, falling empress, howling heathens, calling endless. Ritual torture forms an excess futile. Escaping the pain, it's brutal. The crusades in vain to be truthful. It's fight or flight and it's crucial. I survived this night.
Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Evil, twisted, nightmare crafter. Blood runs cold, heart turns dark.
Blood drips congealed in the dirt. Forms red mud, you're feeling the hurt when the carnage occurs. We let the demon speak and then hang with his words. Mesmerized by the evil inside. Hypnotizing all people alive. Energizing the feeble device. Life in the dungeon's extremely deprived. And it's dark in this dungeon. Around every corner the evil's abundant. Hope is redundant. Treacherous being spread of dysfunction. They feed on your soul for their luncheon. Leaving your goal, prepare for consumption. It's the ravenous huntsman. Right arm hold your carcass triumphant.
Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Beware of the dungeon. Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Evil, twisted, nightmare crafter. Blood runs cold, heart turns dark. Welcome to my dungeon. Many you try, no one escapes. Repent your assumptions. Ears are blind, I hesitate. Cherish the darkness. Feed your desire, protect the light. Be heartless regardless. Focus your define, join you tonight.
I'm serving the master, feeling listed. I made a pact in the dungeon, twisted. Observe the drama, I've assisted. Caused destruction, couldn't resist it. Now I'm addicted to his agony. He insisted I'm part of his family. Encrypted verses, blood-soaked rhapsody. Illustrates graphically. Baphomet images, hideous text. Insidious privileges, tearing your flesh. Advocates the village, criminal privilege. Innocent, wicked, and kill with finesse. Nefarious passages written for them. Imperious savages, sinister men. Mysterious messages, forbidden references deep in the dungeon. Time it, your friend.
Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Evil, twisted, nightmare crafter. Blood runs cold, heart turns dark. Beware of the dungeon. Beware of the dungeon. Beware of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master. Evil, twisted, nightmare crafter. Blood runs cold, heart turns dark.
Yeah.
It makes me think about how, that Benjamin Netanyahu video, if there's an AI for it, how many doubles does Netanyahu have?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And how long is it going to take them to train one of his doubles before he could really pull it off and pass it off and just like, sorry guys, I was very upset when Israel started getting bombed. I didn't die. I just needed to confer with my whatever the hell.
Over a macchiato.
Yeah, and he'd just come back. Like when Osama bin Laden was dying of, I think it was kidney failure, and he was in the American hospital in Saudi Arabia where he's being cured for this. Apparently he died there before 9/11 had happened. And then after 9/11, new videos of Osama bin Laden would come out where the guy just keeps getting younger and younger, and his beard just keeps getting less gray and more black, kind of thing. So, yeah, never underestimate how much and money will be spent and how much effort will be made in order to keep people who have a reputation alive after they're dead.
Yeah. So, right.
We've only got about 15 minutes left of the show, guys.
Here's another one which has come out this week.
We've
which
still
has been
got
a big story.
145
I saw this one, yeah.
I was under the impression that chemtrails had already been admitted. I thought that it was already sort of like out there, but allegedly not, because people have been, reposting this all over the place. CIA accused of poisoning the sky with toxins as files expose secret weather control agenda. It's not really secret though. It's been available for years.
Well, it's been available.
my
but-
childhood.
I did in every girls' school.
It's just thinking about this. The best documentary I've ever seen in terms of trying to encapsulate what chemtrails actually are from a historical kind of context was Frankenskies by Matt Landman.
Oh, funny enough, he's actually on the show next week.
If you go from, I think it was 3 minutes 14 to, I think it was 17 minutes 50, that opening of the documentary with all of the evidence and everything all played out. Like when I had him on the show, I was like, dude, the editing, everything is so masterfully blended in. The amount of times that you have to rewatch things when you're editing just to get them just right. And it was like a full 15-minute stream of this boom, 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 boom. It was just so good. I was like, man, how did you find all that stock footage from all the Navy test groups and all of this kind of stuff, just weaved it all together for you in chronological order, like this is our weather control in World War II. This is our weather control during the
I think
Vietnam.
he's actually working on a Frankenskies too.
Oh, really?
As well, yeah.
Yeah, I need to get in touch with
Because
Matt.
he's been on the show. We've had him on twice before.
I think we've had him on 3 times.
Have we? And he's coming on again next on Friday.
Do you know what? I had a Facebook message argument with someone who'd come to one of our events once that used to watch this show, who was upset with Matt Landman because he didn't get booked to play at his chemtrails gathering. But he started trying to say that Matt Landman's a shill. Where did he come from? And look at his name, Landman. That's a dead giveaway. He's looking up to the skies, but his name is Landman. And this guy was trying to convince me that he's
an operative.
That Matt Landman was a psyop. I was like, dude, this guy's like the world's leading expert on chemtrails. He's like literally made the fucking documentary. He wrote the book, and he's like, who's he to put on this chemtrails gathering? I was like, yeah, he's the number one dude.
To be an expert at anything, you have to be obsessed with it, and Matt is very obsessed with chemtrails.
Yeah, he's the chemtrails dude.
But he's not just into that. He's into
no. He knows a lot. He knows everything.
Like about the EMF clothing that he put on sale and stuff like that, so that you can wear stuff and put your phone and stuff and have hats and everything that are actually protecting you from Wi-Fi radiation, which is
a literal tinfoil hat.
Yeah. Well, silver laced sort of stuff, but he's quite an extraordinary dude, and he has a lot of interesting little pots on the boil, as entrepreneurs often do. Mind you, entrepreneurs have identical symptomology as people with ADHD, because people with ADHD don't have ADHD; they have entrepreneurism.
Interesting.
Excellent.
That's a good message, because a lot of people are being sort of groomed into thinking that it's they have what you can call ADHD or one of these conditions, or entrepreneurialism. They need to be drugged, they need to be medicated, whereas actually
how dare they?
Yeah. Whereas actually what they're trying to tell you is a condition or a disease is actually potentially an advantage.
What's this, Lance? Got on the screen?
Well, I sort of should have showed this earlier on. It's not particularly interesting. We already knew that Japan was very, very based. But this new Japanese Prime Minister, she doesn't really look all that Japanese, actually. She might be mixed race. Japan's Minister of Economic Security, Kimi Inada, says immigrants should stop whining about racism. It would not exist if people simply followed our laws and local customs. Wow.
Do it in a Japanese accent.
No.
Go on, do it. You wanted to. You did want it.
No, I'm not going to do it.
I know
I'm not
you
going to
wanted
do it
to. I
now.
know you
My
wanted to.
Japanese accent is quite good. So yeah, Japan is obviously it's always like that country that the people sort of look up to for being like super clean. Everyone's very polite.
Well, I'll go and see.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
go
off to
see.
Japan. Have you ever been to Japan, Vinny?
No, but I had a Japanese girlfriend for 2 years in New Zealand.
Was she super nice and polite?
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Vinny, can I ask you a question about New Zealand? I worked in Auckland on some super yachts for a few months, years ago. And my favourite restaurant, Baduzzi, the Italian restaurant, is that still there?
I wouldn't know.
No, you don't go to Auckland. Are you still in Auckland, Vinny?
I'm in Auckland, yeah.
You are in Auckland.
I'm just not a restaurateur.
No. It's right by the marina there.
Maybe not. You could just Google it and find out.
I could Google it. I could do that.
Vinny, we've kept you for approaching 2 hours now, and we've come to the end of our slideshow. I would like to thank you for once again joining us here on Rise Above TV. It's been interesting as ever. What time is it there in New Zealand?
Shit, give me a second.
Nearly 12.
It's 11:48.
Oh, not too bad then. So will we your first appointment of the day?
Yeah, I managed to get some sleep, and then I woke up and I was like, "Oh my god, I got a show!" And then and I even turned up early, didn't I?
Well, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, even though I thought it was going to be on at 9:30, but it started at 8:30. Because remember, this isn't this nearly second hour I've been here. I was also here an hour beforehand, so it was almost 3 hours.
Yes. It's always a marathon with us, mate.
You know, and like Julian Assange, I too occasionally need to take a wiki leak.
Absolutely. Well, we won't keep you anymore, but just to remind people where our viewers can get more of Vinny Eastwood.
My home address, if you want to come over. No. TheVinnyEastwoodShow.com. That's Vinny with a Y because it's the most important question. And Eastwood, like, go ahead. Make my news. And you can listen to the Vinny Eastwood Show at Vinny Eastwood NZ on YouTube and Vinny Eastwood on Facebook and BitChute and basically most of the platforms where you might think of Instagram and X, etc. There is a Vinny Eastwood variant lurking around somewhere. It could be working at Burger King, spitting on your onion rings. Guess who's
Vinny, you've been great as always, mate. Thank you very much for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Vinny.
Much.
Great to talk to you, man.
And I would also like to pay you a wee compliment here as well. And you guys have this dynamic of having fun, doing the research, doing the work, getting things set up, making sure that there's good visual quality, good audio quality, and that you are respectful and kind to your guests, and you allow all this audience participation. That took a lot of work, guys. And I just want to acknowledge the amount of work you've actually put into this job. And that's from the heart. Don't let it go to your head.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Vinny.
you very much, mate. That means a lot, Vinny.
Great to talk to you, sir.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Rise above.
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above.
What a lovely heartfelt compliment.
Yeah,
from
it's very
Vinny
nice.
Eastwood
Very
again,
nice.
And
It's always good talking to Vinny.
What he said is true. It is true.
It is a lot of work.
We've worked very hard, and this show does look and sound very good because that's how we wanted it to work. And thank you very much.
Same as
for
our
everyone.
t-shirts, guys. Buy one.
Yeah. If you want to support us, yeah. And guys, everyone that's watching free on Patreon,
We've got 152 peasants still tuned in.
No, current viewers 54.
No, that's just on the Peasantron link. We worked this out the other week, didn't we? That's our
Right,
total
okay,
viewers.
okay,
152.
Okay. Yeah. So remember, this was free, but Peasantron has got a whole lot more, which you're never going to see on YouTube. We're never going to repost it there. It's only ever going to be on Patreon. It's only £3. Why not just try for 1 month, see what you think? I bet you'll do month 2 as well.
The evening with Rabbi Shmuley's worth just that alone's worth the £3.
We're doing an evening with the professor on Sunday. There's loads of videos coming out, and I'm going to be making some more in the next couple of weeks. Guys, thank you for tuning in, and word to your nan.
Word to your nizzle.
Word to your nizzle.